The Mets keep waiting for the clouds to break and the sun to come shining through. A team that's trying to find its way into bloom. Hits were abundant last night. Runs, well, not so much. And the Mets try and get it righted and make some fans in the process as they finish off their series with the Dodgers. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Los Angeles Dodgers. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets wrap up their series with the Dodgers. Mets had 13 hits last night, but scored only 3 runs and fell short. One of the bright spots was one of the newcomers, Eric Campbell, and for the first time, Campbell's going to get a start in left field tonight, crowding an already crowded outfield situation.
Well, I think it's the need of offense, and Wilmer Flores is in the lineup again tonight. But Eric Campbell, since being called up, has been 7 for 16 with the home run last night, which was very impressive. This guy's a little over 6 years in the minor leagues, and each year he got better. Last year in AAA in Las Vegas, he had 315. This year he was wearing it out. They called him up. Now, he's been doing a great job pinch hitting. He showed me a very good eye at the plate, very patient but aggressive, and he showed some pop the other night. He's played mostly first base in the minor leagues and up here, but he's got well over 150 games in the minor leagues in the outfield. So the search for offense, I think he's earned the start.
And with all his versatility, you never know where you might see him next. On the mound tonight for the Mets is John Niese, and until his last start, things were going well. He's had his worst start of the year.
You know, his first half dozen starts were as good as we've ever seen Jonathan Niese, but frustration has set in, especially in the last 2. He's going to have to be on top of his game today.
His opponent is Zach Greinke, and he never has a bad game.
This young man is not known throughout baseball. He's about as good a number 2, and he's not a number 1 only because they have Kershaw. 21 straight starts with 2 runs or less. That's historical. Best since 1914.
Now, Greinke won a Cy Young Award 5 years ago with Kansas City, but he's taken his game to another level. How's he done that?
Well, what he's done is that he's tried to protect his elbow by throwing mostly fastballs, trying to get guys to hit the ball on the ground, not striking out as many, using that slider when he gets guys on base. 29-8 since he joined the Dodgers.
And 21 straight starts. He's allowed 2 runs or less. That's the longest streak in Major League history. That's the task for the Mets tonight. All the action coming your way tonight right here on SNY. brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda now at your Honda dealer. By Cayman Islands this summer, enjoy sun, sea, and a 5th night free only in Cayman. By Geico. By State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is Pat Cawley of Glendale, New York. Contact Pat's office at patcawley.com. And by Chrysler. Visit your local dealer today for great deals on the entire stylish lineup, including the Chrysler 200. Get to Citi Field this Friday for Free Shirt Friday when the Mets take on the Diamondbacks at 7:10. All fans in attendance will receive a Mets t-shirt courtesy of Geico. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Free Shirt Fridays. Driver on the Majors brought to you by Honda this afternoon. Christian Yelich, RBI single, bottom of the ninth. Marlins beat the Phillies 4-3. Marlins now 19-6 at home. Yu Darvish, 7 innings, 6 hits. Shin-Soo Choo hit another home run. Rangers beat the Tigers 9-2. Chris Sale back for the White Sox tonight from the disabled list. He had a flexor strain. Big news in Texas. The Rangers are going to lose Prince Fielder, it looks like, for the season with neck surgery. Time for the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later tonight during the game. John Niese making his way in from the bullpen on a kind of a dreary night at Citi Field. Mets hope to bring some sunshine. Try to get the winning ways going again. First pitch is coming right up. Hospital for Special Surgery, the official hospital of the New York Mets. Hyundai starting lineup for the Dodgers tonight. A little different look against the left-hander. Sean Figgins gets the start at second base instead of D. Gordon. Scott Van Slyke in left field for the Dodgers tonight instead of Carl Crawford. Justin Turner in there again at third with Juan Uribe on the disabled list. Dodgers having a big time of it here at Citi Field the first 2 games, and John Niese will try and cool them down.
Well, Niese had to look at that lineup. We saw that Figgins and Van Slyke, the new guys. We talked about his last 2 starts have been a little indifferent. All of his numbers are good, almost a hit per inning, but that's the kind of pitcher he is. But he'll have to get through this Dodger lineup this year that has struggled against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look at the your Metsy outfield first. Brought to you by Lexus. Eric Campbell, of course, we mentioned in the open, gets his start out in left field. First start in left. Lagares, of course, in center. He'll be playing. Wilmer Flores at short again. 3 hits last night. He's going to stay in the lineup.
You know what distinguishes this Met lineup tonight? It's the first one all season that does not have a Young in it. No Eric, no Chris. Both on the bench tonight.
Very perceptive.
Doesn't mean the Mets have gotten older. It just means they've gotten youngless for the night.
2 guys that aren't homegrown in the lineup for the Mets.
Granderson
and Recker.
Yep.
Everyone else homegrown.
Sean Figgins leads off against John Niese. First pitch outside, and we're underway. Figgins just 20 at bats this year, including a pinch hit double last night. 36-year-old who was not in professional baseball last year. He was released in spring training by the Marlins, never found a job. And he takes below the knees 2-0, making a comeback this spring with the Dodgers. Made the team as a utility man. Figgins, who had his best days as an angel.
An angel.
And he throws his first strike.
He's uber patient when he's up there, Figgins, especially leading off the game.
Better hitter from the left side, but getting the start tonight as a right-hand batter against Niese, because the Dodgers are looking to find a winning combination against lefties. Pulled toward third and under the glove of right, and Figgins has himself a leadoff hit.
Well, you're right about the left-handers, Garrett. A lot of guys that are struggling against left-handers in this Dodger lineup. The only one that's not, and it's wearing it out, is Puig. And here's David in the set position, very low to the ground. Just gets by him.
Got to be in because of the threat of Figgins bunting. Got Figgins to hit.
So here is Puig, who's had an electrifying series. He's 4 for 7, a double and a home run. Right now 5th in the National League in batting, 5th in home runs, 2nd in RBIs, 4th in on-base percentage, 2nd in slugging. He has had a tremendous first third of the season.
He's a player.
I've been amazed at his patience in this series.
Well,
not the same player he was in October.
He's very strong.
Trying to push a bunt.
No, I want him swinging the bat. He got 10 home runs. He has got a beautiful swing too, and it's not just his strength. He has got a quality swing. This kid is, the future is at his feet.
Become enormously popular in a very short period of time in Los Angeles. Nice cutter for a strike from Niese, and it's 0-2. He's played 145 games in the major leagues, has 175 hits and 29 home runs. No Dodger in their history, Brooklyn or LA, has done that in their first 145 games. Think about all the talent that's gone through there over the years. In fact, in the last 50 years, only 4 major leaguers have had that many hits and home runs in that short a period of time. Albert Pujols, Ryan Braun, Mike Trout, Nomar Garciaparra. And Puig is out on strikes for the first out.
Fastball up and away. He was really in between that at bat. It's almost like he wasn't ready.
Well, the bunt attempt really threw off the entire at bat.
For him.
Exactly. So 1 out and 1 on. Now Hanley Ramirez. Hanley 2 for 8 in this series, including a home run.
Keith, you mentioned last night the distinction of that Dodger uniform is that white button on the cap, but also the red numbers in the front of the uniform.
Well, John Niese threw about 4 starts ago, through 2 straight starts, or he was brilliant, and then he's struggled his last 2 a little bit. I think he's due for a good one, and
Just need him to be more consistent.
Ran into first inning trouble his last start in Washington, not helped by a couple of poor defensive plays on the Mets' part. Wound up giving up 5 runs in 4 innings, but only 3 of those were earned.
You know, David plays off that line with Niese pitching. I don't like that as much. Niese throws so many cutters. I'd like him a little closer to the line.
Well, you know how you can eliminate that, and
Hanley lines one into center field. Figgins will go first to third, and Lagares will have to let him go. And the Dodgers at the table set first and third and 1 out.
Now, Hanley's the kind of guy that has got a long swing and can only ball he's going to pull and catch up to, Ronnie, is the changeup that Niese throws. It's a ball or a hanging breaking ball. So it's always, you remember, Wally used to tell me every time a left-hander was up, whether I was getting an off-speed pitch or a breaking ball, and I'd kind of shade the line. And that's what Flores has to do to David Wright. Just kind of, when Niese breaks from the belt, just say Dave or whatever.
A whistle or whatever.
And then you slide up towards the line a little bit.
So a very important early moment in this game for John Niese as he faces the red-hot Adrian Gonzalez with first and third and 1 out. Gonzalez 4 for 8 in this series, a double and 2 homers, and he'll get a run in with this as Figgins tags at third. Campbell makes the grab. Figgins can walk on in as the throw goes to second. Sacrifice fly for Gonzalez, his 4th RBI of the series, and the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead.
Well, the one thing I've noticed on this ball club, and I've stated the first 2 games, this is the most team speed that I have seen on a ball club. A lot of truck horse teams running around this league. It's a National League. It didn't used to be that way. And, you know, base hit was a bullet off the bat of Ramirez in dead center field, and Figgins has the speed to go first to third, and there you got an easy first inning run.
You know what's interesting there is that the Dodgers this entire series, Gary and Keith, very aggressive when they get guys on base. They're looking to hit on that first pitch.
Come on, Matty.
So now Matt Kemp, and when you talk about the Dodgers' struggles against lefties, he is the poster boy. Guy who has killed lefties for most of his career is hitting 170 against them this year.
No home runs.
Coming into this season, Matt Kemp's lifetime batting average against left-hand pitching was .342.
You know, we're painting him with the brush of seasons ago. So for us that have watched him play at such a high level, it's not interesting, it's not the word. It's puzzling to watch him play the way he's playing now.
Well, he's had so many injuries the last few years, ankle and shoulder and hamstring, and he had 2 surgeries this past offseason, still trying to round himself into form.
He has not been the shadow of the player he used to be.
Here's the good curveball from Niese, 1-2.
He's the most dangerous player in the National League for that year and a half or so.
Well, should have won the MVP in 2011, got beat out by Ryan Braun, but since then it's been nothing but injury difficulties for Kemp. Ramirez at first and 2 out. A run in for the Dodgers in the first. And Niese throws another curveball and strikes out Kemp to end the inning. Second strikeout for John, but the Dodgers put together a run. Mets will come to bat against Zach Greinke, down 1. Lineup for the Mets tonight. Eric Campbell off his first big league home run last night gets the start in left field. Juan Lagares back in the leadoff spot after 3 hits last night. David Wright had 3 hits last night. Wilmer Flores had 3 hits last night. Zach Greinke has been practically perfect.
30 games over 500 in his career at 113 and 83. 29 and 8 I mentioned in a Dodger uniform. Since 2011 he's had 99 starts. This is his 100th. He's 53 and 16.
That's good, right?
I think it's good.
No, he's very good.
Juan Lagares hitting at .315 for the year. And Greinke gets the first pitch in for a strike. Lagares, after that stretch where he was kept out of the starting lineup for 3 straight games, 6 for 13 in the 3 games that have followed. Greinke quickly ahead of him, 0-2.
I went and asked Oral Hershiser, who does the TV for the Dodgers, what Greinke has improved on this year, Ron, and he said that Greinke now has learned to pop inside and put a little extra mileage on that fastball, and he pops inside.
Bouncer for Ramirez, and he throws out Lagares one away.
And we'll take a look at your Los Angeles Dodger defense, and that's brought to you by Coors Light. And when you win your first 2 games, you always get some guys in there. Your bench. Scott Van Slyke gets a start out in left field. You've already got the series in your back pocket. Sean Figgins gets a start at second base, and of course Turner starts because of the injury to Juan Uribe, and Ellis behind the plate. There's Oral. Beat us in Game 7 in '88. If you Met fans remember that. But he said that Greinke is learning to differ his not just one-speed fastball.
Well, when watching him pitch a couple of games this year, Orioles completely right. He throws 88, 89, maybe 90 on his fastball, and then every once in a while, guy on third, less than 2 outs, you see a 93.
And he has said that this has been the key for his consistency, that he's learned the art of not going all out all the time.
Conserving. That's the art of pitching. The art now is throw 110% as long as you can for as far as you can. Greinke's the opposite. We saw that with Tanaka, right, with the Yankees. Throw hard when you have to.
You saw Rick Honeycutt right there. Pretty good mentor, pitching coach for the Dodgers. Also, we had many a battle against him as a Dodger. Hard sinker, used to cut the ball, but he knew how to pitch. He was one of the few left-handers, Ronnie, that threw a hard sinker and realized against left-hand hitters he had to throw. That was a weapon.
Yeah.
He pounded inside all the time.
Now, when you say cut the ball, do you mean through a cutter or cut the ball?
He cut the ball. He had a razor blade somewhere, some foreign object.
Now that's not legal, right?
It was illegal. He was notorious for that.
To see that backdoor slider Greinke threw, he stayed on the mound. Ellis held it there, telling Adrian Johnson, that's a good pitch. We need that later.
2-2 to Murphy. Taps one past the mound. Greinke lets it go. And Ramirez throws him out. 2 away. Sometimes pitcher has to be judicious about what he doesn't feel.
Well, the one thing I didn't share, and you guys know better than I, you see this win percentage. 100 start span since 1980. That's pretty amazing. Greinke's up there with the class of the class. Is that Greinke's an amazing athlete, fielder and hitter.
Hasn't made an error since 2010. 114 straight games without an error. David Wright will bat with 2 out and nobody on. David is having a weird stretch right now. He is getting hits, but he is not hitting for any power at all. In fact, he is now tied for 3rd in the National League in base hits. Had 3 more hits last night. The Mets had 13 hits, but scored only 3 runs. And
the Dodgers have 5 hits.
5 hits. In fact, that gap of out hitting the opposition by 8 and losing the game, Mets hadn't had that happen to him in 9 years. Coincidentally enough, last time was against the Dodgers back in '05. David hits the curveball deep to left, right down the line, hooking toward the pole, but it goes foul.
Slow curveball had him out in front. That stayed inside. You get hurt there.
Rusty Staub hit me in the shin with his bat once. He said, "Don't ever throw slow curveballs to right-handed hitters." That was the last time I did. The whack in the shins.
David hits this one the other way, foul.
You'll hear a lot of grunting from Greinke, which he will do on his fastball.
Does that count as tipping your pitches?
No, it's too late. It's too late.
Nolan Ryan used to grunt.
Yeah, it's too late.
His was more like a roar.
Ryan Express.
See that? 93 miles an hour instead of the 88, 89.
You see David out in front. That's a great shot right there. How the second one, he's a little tardy. So there's the change of speed.
Slider off the plate. David stopped the swing in time.
So Greinke's thrown him 2 fastballs, a cutter, slider, slow breaking ball in one at bat.
Well, he can command all 4 and throw them all at any time. 30-year-old right-hander deals the 2-2, and Wright checks the swing and fouls it off.
Fastball in.
That's where Kensley Jansen got David elbow was down more belt high to strike him out last night inside.
That hit right on the pine tar. Right on it.
Oh, keep that ball.
Yeah,
good
right.
grip.
7th pitch of the at bat from Greinke to Wright. David takes low and away. Full count.
Saw that shout by Greinke. He's such a perfectionist out there.
He put up 2 fingers after that pitch. What was that?
I don't know.
3-2 on the way. And it's in for a call, strike 3. David caught looking at a backup slider. And Greinke has his first strikeout of the night. Couldn't have meant to do that. Dodger manager looking for a sweep in New York. Scott Van Slyke leads off the 2nd inning for LA. Van Slyke getting a start against the left-hander tonight, hitting .333 against lefties.
Adrian Johnson not giving Jonathan Niese that fastball away to the right-handers. That could present a problem. John's going to have to work a little more over the plate or work inside more.
He's going to have to be careful with Van Slyke too. Van Slyke has 4 home runs against the left-handers.
He loves that ball middle of the plate in, Van Slyke. All or nothing kind of hitter so far in his career.
27 years old, second generation big leaguer. And he takes the changeup inside, 3-1. Justin Turner on deck, then A.J. Ellis. Niese gave up a run in the first inning behind the leadoff hitter, 3-1, and gets a strike. Full count.
Van Slyke's mad at himself that he let that ball pass. Well, of course he was born in Chesterfield, Missouri. Well, his dad was playing for the Cardinals.
That's where my daughters were born.
High fastball gets him. Third strikeout for Niese. 1 out in the second. Well, I don't know where Donnie's getting his snacks these days, but back in the day when he was playing for the Yankees, I was always a fan who could contribute.
That is classic.
This kid has no clue.
That's classic.
That's great.
I would have a little issue with that.
Well, you're a germaphobe.
The germ issue, really.
Like what?
What are you doing?
You kidding? Justin Turner, the batter. Turner played third base last night, went 0 for 4. 17th game he started for the Dodgers this year, after the Mets non-tendered him during the offseason. In other words, did not offer him a contract. It's not quite like being released, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's the same thing.
I'm surprised they don't have an acronym for that. They have it for DFA.
NT?
Non-tendered.
By the way, speaking of DFA, so you got DFA today by the Pirates?
They did. WR.
Wandy Rodriguez, who is now owed a total of $9 million from 2 teams he no longer plays for.
Hey, his agent did great for him.
The Astros owe him, I think it's 3.5, and the Pirates 5.5, and he's out. He's out and available now.
That's called out negotiating.
Well, Wandy was a very good pitcher.
Yeah, he was a good pitcher
for a while.
Pitched for some bad Astro teams, so his record was around 500.
2-1 to Turner, and he fouls it back.
He always was a better road pitcher when he was an Astro, if I recall, than he was at home.
He always seemed to pitch great against the Mets at that little curveball.
Yep. Interesting to see a starting pitcher conversing, standing up. Greinke is that kind of guy.
Well, but considering his background, the fact that he's standing around talking,
socializing,
right? I mean, Greinke very famously had trouble with what was called social anxiety disorder. Very, just difficult for him to communicate and make small talk with his teammates. Was very aloof, but I guess his
sitting next to his pitching coach.
He's kind of figured that out over the years.
I was talking to some people at the Dodgers, said he's very comfortable in Los Angeles. It's very comfortable on that team because it's a team of stars, so he can kind of be in the background.
This is a great shot right here of this pitching coach, an old wily veteran, talking to his pitcher with the chart of the hitters there, I'm sure.
Well, think about this also with Greinke. On any other team, he'd be the ace.
Absolutely.
On the Dodgers, he's the number 2.
You know what I think about that? I think I don't look at it in terms like that. I see a starting rotation like that. I say that they got 2 aces.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Every night you have a chance to win.
And there's no 1-2. They got 2 aces.
8th pitch of the at bat from Niese to Turner, and he hits it out toward the gap in right center, cutting across Granderson, and he reaches out to get it. The ball sliced back toward Curtis, and he runs it down for the second out.
Well, Curtis has shown the speed, lateral speed, to go left and right. He's got good coverage in both center field and in the right field, going to his left and right.
Ball seemed to stay up in the air a long time.
Wasn't hit so grand.
Bit of a snow cone. So 2 out and nobody on. Now A.J. Ellis, who's 0 for 5 in this series, and he takes a strike. Well, I didn't mean to demean Greinke by calling him.
No,
I was just talking about what Ronnie's talking about. That for a guy who doesn't want to be front and center, it's an advantage to him to be considered the 2. Ellis lines one over Duda's glove. That'll go down to the corner for an extra base hit. And A.J. Ellis has himself a 2-out double. And that'll get the pitcher up. And in this case, one of the best hitting pitchers in the game.
Well, he waits nicely on this curveball.
That's beautiful hitting right there. Ellis has been struggling at the plate, has got it on the interstate. He's come off of injury. Just back in the lineup. It's been a struggle for him. That's good hitting right there.
Second extra base hit of the season for Ellis. So now Greinke, who had one of the best hitting seasons a pitcher's had in a long time last year. He had 328 last season, won his first Silver Slugger.
400 on base percentage. 19 hits.
Really?
Mets staff as a group will try to reach 19 this year.
Good luck. Ellis at second and 2 down. And Greinke attacks, hits it pretty deep to left, but playable for Campbell. And that retires the side. So Niese works around Ellis's 2-out double. Go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 LA. Plays that beat the Mets, 8th inning, a 1-run game, and a double play not turned.
Well, you always see a pitcher look behind. Now there was a big meeting before that play, and they knew who was going to cover, so it was Murphy's ball, and Flores for some reason vapor locked, and it cost him a ball game. It's really inexcusable.
I think that when and I'll have to ask Dan Worthen, when a pitching coach comes out to talk to his pitcher, I always used to like Mel Stottlemyre would say, hey, listen now, you got bases loaded here, 1 out, ball back at you. We're going to the catcher, okay? Like he just reminds you. So if it happened, you already had it in your head.
Curtis Granderson leads off the home second. He has by far the most at bats of any Met against Greinke. But not much luck. 7 for 39, a 179 average against this right-hander. The Mets have only faced Greinke twice. Once when he pitched for the Royals, and then the last time when he was pitching for Milwaukee 2 years ago. He pitched 7 scoreless innings here.
See how precise his pitches are. Ellis calls fastball in. If he misses in, it's off the plate.
And you know, he's throwing 91, 92. He's not throwing it through a brick wall. It's plenty 91, 92. But he's not what you'd call, you know, a top of the line flamethrower. But he's got great breaking stuff and off speed. He knows how to pitch. You don't need to throw it through a brick wall to win. And I will re-emphasize and reiterate, 91 is plenty.
So Eric Campbell on deck. Lucas Duda behind him here in the second. Granderson 3 for 9 in the series, a double and a home run. He fouls off the fastball.
Greinke is a little up right now early in the games. And like most real good pitchers, you try to get them early because once they get their rhythm, then they usually don't make a mistake up in the strike zone like you did here to Granderson. That's a pitch to hit.
Slider pulled foul. It's been a great year for ball boys.
Outstanding.
I don't know if we've got a new crop around the league, but they have been top of the line.
It's a lot of highlight shows. They're trying to make it.
I see more and more hitters today. I used to always get on one knee in the on-deck circle. I see more hitters standing up like they're going to hit, like they're in the batter's box. I never did that. I always sat on one knee. It's very relaxed, and watch how the pitcher worked the hitter.
Why would you do that? Were you getting an angle from down there, or
no? There's no angle.
Just relax.
Just relax.
Okay,
I get loose. I'd swing my leaded bat, whatever it was, the donut. Put my pine tar on my bat, and I'd get on one knee. That's the time to relax. I just was very observant of what the pitcher was doing. But I see more hitters today, like Ike Davis was one. Gosh, it was like they're up at the plate. I know it's a timing mechanism for them, whatever works, but I got better things to do, like relax on one knee.
Granderson with the new bat takes breaking ball outside, 2-2.
So a lot of fastballs in, a fastball away. He tried the backdoor slider. Will he go back with the pitch? Double up on the backdoor slider away. Nope, back in.
Too high, and Granderson works it full.
You see Greinke, he's a lot of histrionics. He's really fighting himself, and you know when he's not when he's angry at the pitch he just threw.
Yeah, it's 3-2 trick you.
3-2 change.
Ninth pitch of the at bat, and Granderson fouls off the changeup.
It's not a good change.
A little
right
hard
there.
for a change, to tell you the truth.
Up 2.
You know, throwing 90, 91, 85, 6-mile-an-hour difference. Not enough.
Greinke right now hasn't got command. You called it, Ron.
Yeah. It's very, you know, he's hittable now. Sinker away. Wiggle of the finger, one finger, sinker away.
Granderson still in. 10 pitches deep, no result.
See, is that a ball or a strike? He was asking home plate umpire Adrian Johnson.
I think he asked if it was low, and it wasn't. I thought it was knee high. All right, we'll take a gander here.
Boy, they are in sync. No shaking off.
And the curve ball pulled foul. So he's seen everything but the kitchen sink from Greinke, and he's been able to waste away everything he's seen.
I mean, you know a catcher and a pitcher in sync. When it's 3-2 in the second inning, he puts a curveball, you're like, yeah, that's a perfect pitch to throw.
I think we've seen over his brief tenure as a starting catcher, Dodger pitchers tend to agree with A.J. Ellis.
Yeah.
Cambio.
12th pitch of the at bat. Driven to deep center field. Back goes Kemp. Way back. Over his head. Granderson on his way to second. He's going to stop right there and then continues on after a head fake and slides in safely at third. Kemp with a little trouble picking the ball up. Granderson had stopped. And then he continues on. It'll be a double and an error on Kemp, enabling Granderson to get to third. One at bat for Granderson.
It was a terrific at bat. A high changeup again. And boy, Kemp doesn't really. There's the sign, the wiggle, which is I said cambio, and that's Espanol. That's changeup. And it's up and out over the middle. It's always a sweet pitch to hit. Look at Kemp. He's not really busting after it. Well, that didn't land that far from him.
No, he bobbled. That's got to be E8, double E8.
And it is, because Granderson had stopped.
Yeah.
So the tying run at third, nobody out. Eric Campbell with a chance to get it home. Campbell hit his first big league home run last night. He's had a hit in 6 straight games, 7 for 16 to start his major league career.
Yep. There he's stopping right there, and because of that stop, that's going to be an E8.
Good job by Granderson. A lot of hitters put their head down once they have that double, and they don't continue to watch the center fielder. He did.
So of the 7 base hits, Campbell has 3 are extra base hits, 2 doubles and a tater.
A line drive homer to left last night for his first in the big leagues, and the fastball rides outside, 2-1.
Boy, you got to get Greinke right now. He's struggling. Don't let him find it. He'll shut the door on you.
Working out of the windup with a runner at third and nobody out. And the curveball had Campbell swinging over the top, 2-2.
There's the big slow hook. It's the best one he's thrown.
Yeah, better than the one he threw today because it's down.
But he still wants to get it out more on the outside corner if you're looking at perfection, right, Ron?
Let's see if he throws fastball in after the slow curveball. It's the pitch to throw if you're brave enough.
Good eye. Tough pitch to lay off.
Well, for Greinke, who generally works to a pretty low pitch count, this is his 3rd consecutive full count.
He's off. I mean, those pitches he usually makes when he's on the top of his game.
So now 3-2 to Campbell with Granderson at third. And Eric hits it out to right center field. Cutting across is Puig. Granderson tagging. Puig's got a cannon. Here comes Granderson. The throw is not in time. Sacrifice fly for Eric Campbell to tie the game.
Nice at bat. There's Puig displaying the arm, but a little bit too deep. Even if that throw's on line. But the most important thing is he gave his catcher a nice one hop.
I don't do this very often, but I got a little excited about that throw. Too much speed by Granderson.
So the Mets get even, and now Duda fouls back the first pitch fastball.
Good cut by Lucas.
Lucas didn't play last night against the left-hander Ryu. Hit a home run in the opening game of the series. So Granderson with a double comes home on the sac fly.
Tim Wallach
telling Figgins to move back into the grass in the shift.
Figgins playing second base tonight with D. Gordon getting the night off.
Figgins got the big pinch hit double last night. He was the deciding run, I believe, the 4th run.
Duda now ahead in the count, 3-1. So that's 4 straight hitters now that Greinke's gone to a 3-ball count.
It's a little quick in his motion. He's not staying back. What does that mean? Well, he's kind of jumping at the hitter real quick. His arm's lagging. That's why his pitchers are not where he wants them to be.
And there's ball 4, and Duda's on with a walk. So Greinke fighting himself right now, and he issues his first walk of the night.
He's always had that very casual take back with that foot, and then nice and slow, and the glove meets the knee. But after that, he generates the power by kind of jumping at the hitter. And he's just a little off right now. That jumping at the hitter is a little early. Lands on that stiff front leg.
Boy, you can see the torque on the elbow, all that stress.
But he lands in a very nice fielding position. That's why he's such a great fielder.
I mean, let's make clear just how good Greinke has been. You go back to last year, 21 consecutive starts. He's allowed 2 runs or less, which is by far the longest streak in Major League history. The longest prior streak was 16 games in a row, 2 runs or less. He's had 21 in a row. And over that span, he's 14-2, 1.76. So if he's off, boy, you've got a story.
I told you before that if you, as a starting pitcher, had a half dozen of those in a row, you're styling. 21.
The longest prior streak was 16 in a row. Ferdy Shupp of the 1916 and 17 New York Giants had 16 straight starts, 2 runs or less. And now Greinke is extended his streak to 21. His last start against Arizona, 8 scoreless innings.
That's the longest he went all year. What was that young man's name you said?
Ferdy Shaw.
Ferdy.
Of course.
Short for
Ferdinand, I guess. Flores pulls one foul. A very slow curve. Got it under 70 miles an hour that time.
He's leaving that slow curve inside to the right-hand hitters. And they're out in front. This is right there to hit if you wait. But he's fooling him with the off speed. But that's very, very dangerous.
Flores had his second career 3-hit game last night. He reaches for the high fastball and fouls it off.
It's hard to even make contact on this pitch.
Stayed level.
Just a little bit out of the strike zone.
Duda at first and 1 out with a run home here in the second. And the curveball hit deep to right center field. Chasing back in the gap is Kemp. He won't get there, but Puig will. Makes an incredible diving catch. Duda had rounded second, trying to get back, and he slides in safely. What an amazing play by Puig. Kemp had given up on it, and Puig came out of nowhere to make a brilliant catch.
Well, you're right about Kemp quitting on it. This young man did not. And that's as good as it gets. My gosh.
Duda got back to first base. He was 10 feet past second. And the Dodgers are going to appeal and say that he didn't touch second, I think.
I thought he came back and touched second.
Absolutely. Too. Hanley Ramirez was setting up for an appeal, but he did touch.
Yeah, he did.
So they're not going to appeal. Now Anthony Recker, the batter. Wow. That is...
that's a catch.
That is... It's about as good as it gets.
That is just full out sprinting to the ball and laying out for it. And Duda would have been out at first base.
That had a chance to be the greatest double play I've ever seen.
He would have been out if he catches it.
Can't believe he got to that ball.
I mean, it wasn't even his ball.
That's a 245-pound man running after that baseball.
Well, Greinke able to breathe a temporary sigh of relief. 2-1 to Recker.
Wonder how that figures in the defensive metrics. By the way, I wonder if that gets a good rating.
By the way, the greatest double play ever was the Andy Chavez catch.
Yeah, that's right.
This might challenge that one.
The one Beltran made in Houston, up the.
Yeah, but that wasn't a double play.
Oh, I know, but that was one of the greatest catches I've seen. That was a heck of a
We were
catch.
talking double play.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
I'm sorry, I wasn't. The director was in my ear. I lost my focus.
He's got a job to do too.
You should worry about the cameras.
Someone's got to keep you in line. Another 3-ball count for Greinke. His 5th in the last 6 batters. Duda at first and 2 out, and Recker takes ball 4. Boy, how big does that catch look right now? The way Greinke is struggling.
Oh. Isn't it? This game is so funny. You got the Dodgers coming in. If you're the Dodgers, you're on the bus coming to the ballpark. You're going. We took the first 2. Boy, we got Greinke going. 7-1, 21 straight games, 2 runs. Boy, we should just come in here and get out of here with 3 wins.
And that's the problem with baseball. It's never like that.
And he's out here struggling.
Yeah. Let me give you a very quirky stat as John Niese comes to the plate. You know how good Greinke's been. You know how well he swings the bat. But pitchers swing the bat well against Greinke. Pitchers are 5 for 14 against Greinke this year, hitting .357.
That means he's throwing a lot of fastballs.
Of course, Niese is looking for his first hit of the season, and this would be a nice spot for it. Had a very good year swinging the bat last year. Hit over 200. This year, 0 for 10. 2 on and 2 out. And Niese takes low and in, ball one.
Just overthrowing. It's hard to even say with all the stats you gave, Gary, about Greinke through the stretch, but he's doing something that you see young pitchers do. He's just overthrowing at this point.
He's thrown 33 pitches in this inning already. Duda and Recker aboard with 2 out. And Niese fouls it away.
Hadn't pitched before that 8-inning effort he had in his last start. He was mostly a 6-inning pitcher. And if you look at his stats all this year, 6 out of the 9 starts were around the 6-inning mark.
He's averaging less than 6 innings per start. 53 1/3 over 9 starts.
Kind of the maybe Maddox at the end of his career. Greinke is like that right now.
1-1 to Niese. And John takes a strike.
He's throwing basically 90-91, Ronnie.
But it's real straight, and his breaking pitches aren't over the plate. So that's the difference.
Juan Lagares would be next. But now Greinke on the verge of getting himself through this laborious inning. His 36th pitch of this second inning upcoming. And strikes out Niese to end it. Well, the Mets get 1. They would have had a whole lot more if not for the heroics of Yasiel Puig. As good a play as you're ever going to see, taking an extra base hit away from Wilmer Flores. And the Mets settle for 1. It's a 1-1 game after 2. That all year. Gave up only 1 run, but it was not easy for him.
You know, it's funny. It's interesting. Greinke was talking to his catcher first about it, and really what he's trying to explain to Ellis is he's not getting the angle, which means he's not getting that high top to bottom kind of angle on his fastball or his breaking balls. It's nice to have a guy like Ellis who can talk pitching with his pitcher.
Shows me that Greinke's a perfectionist, and here comes his pitching coach now to chip in.
Sean Figgins leads off the 3rd against John Niese and takes a strike.
I think just like hitting in today's game, a lot of pitchers tend to be mechanical mics. They're really into having everything perfect in their mechanics. If they do that, then they feel like they can pitch well.
Figgins had a base hit, scored the Dodger run in the 1st inning, and Niese with the cutter gets ahead of him 0-2. There's Yasiel Puig on deck.
Surprised he wasn't leading off.
Lucky he didn't break his wrist on that catch.
He knew what he was doing.
That's the athletic part of it too, to be able to catch it and then tuck it under your body.
Yep. He's a player.
I mean, the term five-tool player gets tossed around lightly. He's in. 2-2 to Figgins, and he bounces one slowly. Right cuts it off. One out. Well, check out how much ground Puig covers on this catch.
Upper right-hand corner. Got a little bit of a late break, too. That's just terrific.
I mean, that's a 40-yard dash to the baseball, then about 4-3, and then almost doubled up Lucas.
And again, if Adrian Gonzalez catches that ball, dude is out.
I don't think Lucas did not do anything wrong, though.
No.
I mean, that's what he's supposed to do. No one makes that catch except Puig.
And now Puig at the plate takes the curveball for a strike. Struck out on 3 pitches his first time up after first trying to bunt his way on.
Well, he's got a pretty classic stance, doesn't he, Keith?
Yep, he's just you can just, it oozes confidence.
When you go to a basketball game and you watch the Heat, can't take your eyes off LeBron James. When you watch the Dodgers play, you can't take your eyes off Yasiel Puig.
He's got a little trouble with John right now. Remember, he's the only guy in the lineup that's really hitting left-handers. 351 against him coming in, and John's kind of making him a little uncomfortable up there.
Well, we've seen he's kept the ball down. Maybe that's the key with Puig. He likes the ball upside. Yeah,
pop them in too.
Upstairs.
1-2. Just missed.
So we'll see if John continues to befuddle or Puig kind of zones him in. We'll see if he makes an adjustment. He's got a good eye at the plate too. Remember last year he didn't do that.
That's a pitch you would swing at 99% of the time, and that's a month and a half ago playing.
So how quickly do pitchers catch up with that scouting report?
They better catch up or he's going to hit 350 this year. We'll see it now. 333, 330s.
The third inning brought to you by your Tri-State Audi dealers and the all-new Audi A3. One out and nobody on. 3-2 to Puig. Got him looking. Backdoor cutter gets Puig. 4th strikeout for Niese.
That's a pitch that Adrian Johnson wasn't calling earlier in the game and calls it here.
It's a fastball right on the outside corner.
How about over top? Does it come around the plate or it catches the front side of that corner?
Oh, too close to take.
Yeah, it's a good pitch.
And he was full too. So
second time Puig's been struck out tonight. 2 out and nobody on. Hanley Ramirez the batter. Single to center his first time.
Good breaking ball.
This is really a tough lineup to negotiate when you think about all the all-star talent the Dodgers have put together.
John's got his A game with him today so far.
Yeah. You got to step up to the challenge when you're facing a guy like Greinke or Kershaw. And he's done it so far. You're right, though, Gary. You throw the numbers out. I know the numbers against left-handed pitching has not been good. You don't feel like that if you're Jonathan Niese. You see Ramirez and Puig and Gonzalez and others, and you're like, I need to make my pitches as precise as I've ever been.
Didn't get the inside corner that time. 2-1. Well, I mean, the Dodgers have been looked at as a disappointment this year because they came into this series a game over 500 before winning the first 2. But I mean, look at their offensive numbers for the year, and they're right there at the top of the league, top 3 in virtually every offensive category. And that's, at a time when they're not playing their best.
Lorenzo Bundy, if you can't catch it, you got to let it go.
Lorenzo.
First rule of base coaching.
They're all over you if you can't catch it. Not only the fans, but also your own players once you come back to the bench.
I think that Puig jersey is a little popular in Los Angeles.
That brother's mad at his brother for getting the ball.
Well, he missed it, you know. 3-2 to Ramirez.
Well, the Giants are playing great.
Rockies off to a great start. Have come back a little bit, but still hitting.
You know, what I've heard about the Giants is that they play fundamental baseball. They're solid. Don't make mistakes. Dodgers may have more talent, but they're a little looser outfit.
3-2 to Ramirez, and he drives this one well to right center. Granderson back. He'll have plenty of room. Side retired. So Niese has his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. 1-1 game. Top of the order coming up. MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today.
You know, we saw Juan with a great bunt base hit, but look, Greinke's the kind of pitcher I wouldn't bunt on. That's how good of an athlete he is.
Well, third base Turner is in tight also. Fool me once. What's that saying?
Lagares drives one to center, but right at Kemp, who doesn't have to move an inch. Well, the actual saying, which has been butchered in the past, is "Fool me once, shame on you.
Right.
Fool me twice, shame on me."
Correct.
There you go.
Thank you, Gil. Way to pick me up.
You weren't the one who needed picking up on that phrase, by the way. One out and nobody on now. Daniel Murphy, who grounded out to short his first time up.
Has Gary fooled you twice?
Murphy, after a long hot streak, just 1 for 11 in this series.
Can't stay hot forever.
But boy, would you like to.
Makes it life so much easier.
What's the longest hot streak you ever had?
That's a great question.
A full season where you never went
I
this
hit
long?
309 every month in 1980 when I hit 321. In 1979 I hit 232 in the first month of the season in April, and I hit 300 the remaining 5 months. So I had 11 months in a row where I hit 300 consecutively.
Wow.
Now that was fun.
That's a hot streak. 2 years, that's a hot streak.
Yeah, I was, shoot,
Top of your game.
grab my bat, you singe your hands.
I can't even imagine your personality that hot.
Use your bat as a curling iron. Here's the 2-1 on the way. Pulled down to first, and Gonzalez is right there. Takes a funny hop, and he stays with it. And that's the second out. So 2 out and nobody on. David Wright coming up. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin.
Well, Gary, we spent a lot of time this series kind of talking about guys and their hands and what they do with their hands and how it leads to their swing. David Wright had an interesting thing that he's been told since he was a little kid. He said, I was always told to pretend that you're holding onto a little baby bird. If you grip it too tight, you kill it. And if you grip it too loose, it's going to fly away on you. He said, that's what I learned when I was a kid. That's what I still use now. He said, the other thing that I do is I like to kind of get my knuckles all lined up. And as the pitch is coming, I tighten up a little bit. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to feel like you're grinding the bat. You never want to feel like you're just gripping it so tight. I do tighten the grip as the pitch comes, but you still want to keep it somewhat loose as you approach the swing.
That's how you get your wrists. You're relaxed. We've been showing you the last couple games, and you Met fans that have been watching, how loose the grip is, particularly Granderson. And then when you come to make contact, that's when you squeeze the bat, and that gets your wrist action going. And I like the fact that David said he lined his knuckles up. I lined my knuckles up. I've always made sure that my knuckles were lined up.
Why is that, Keith?
It's just, I always had a bad wrist when I was young, my right wrist, so I really had to emphasize my right hand really had, I show it on the camera, I can't describe it, but this bone right here, I don't know what bone you'd call it.
Outside of your wrist?
Yes. What the ball is, right? It's like a ball. I pole vaulted off a dugout when I was 8 years old, and I got my weight too far for a little league dugout, and I jammed my wrist.
Ramirez on the backhand, tough play. Can't throw out right. David has an infield hit.
All right, so basically, this is my bad wrist. So I used to always line these knuckles up, right there. What it made me do was it made my hands. If you look at Willie Mays when I was a kid growing up, Hank Aaron, they were always like this. So when you line up your knuckles like this, it forces your hand to be almost in a cocked position. So that's how I'd always look and make sure, even though it was natural. And that's what David's talking about.
In there. There's Granderson.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Keith. I know he's out now, but Brandon Belt did not line up his knuckles when he first came up to the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
They got him to do it, and it changed his whole game.
If you don't, and you get too top hand,
right.
Too much top hand.
Granderson gets tied up. Ball and a strike.
Yeah, like this guy, I'm sure lined him up.
He had enormous torque in everything he did.
Oh, Don was just an incredible hitter. I mean, but please, I'm stating the obvious. If he didn't hurt his back, I just gotta wonder. They question his Hall of Fame. He had some amazing numbers. There's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that had only like 8 years in the big leagues. He had some incredible numbers with the Yankees.
Well, his case for the Hall of Fame is similar to Dale Murphy's. They had great years, but most people feel they didn't have enough to be Hall of Fame.
Well, and MVPs.
Right. There goes Wright. Granderson swings and misses, and Ellis's throw is perfect. Ramirez didn't even have to move the glove, and Wright is thrown out to end the inning. He can't throw it much better than A.J. Ellis. Ball, glove, tag. Right there.
Perfecto.
Adrian Gonzalez drove in the Dodger run with a sacrifice fly on the first pitch he saw from John Niese, and thinking about a bunt even without a big overshift on. That's unusual.
I think that was just to show me. He just wanted to show David he's thinking about it, just to keep David in that position. You know, if you're going to take a pitch, take the first pitch. Why not show that?
I mean, he is so hot right now. Can't even imagine him trying to bunt. Hits one down to David. Had it played perfectly. And throws him out easily, one away.
He tried to go that way, too. Interesting. How about control of the bat to be able to do this? And ends up and out. But that's inside.
Inside out. He was going the other way, and that's how you beat a hitter right there. That's good hitting.
Fake bunt, try to pull him in, go that way, hit it right at him.
Next time he should try hitting it over the fence. That's going much better for him right now. Here's Matt Kemp, who struck out his first time up.
He'll be swinging first pitch.
Well, in fact, Gonzalez homering in each of the first 2 games of this series. There are only 2 left-hand batters who've ever homered in 3 straight games at Citi Field. Ike Davis did it once, and Ryan Howard did it. And Gonzalez, if he homered tonight, would be the 3rd. Kemp struck out his first time, and he pops him inside with a cutter. 1-1.
Nice job by John. I think the Mets pitchers haven't lost their way, but there's not been enough pitching inside by the starting pitchers, and John has done that 3 or 4 times tonight.
Strike 3 call. So Kemp caught looking. 5th strikeout now for Niese. Can't imagine what Kemp is jawing about.
He thinks it's low. He thinks it's down in the strike zone.
It's too close to take. That's a strike. I'm sorry. It's a low ball umpire. It's a strike. That's a Dutch Renard strike.
Ooh. Dutch Renard was loud. I mean, Adrian Johnson's got a nice loud strike call, but Dutch had lungs.
Oh, he did.
And that unique style where he'd step back and turn to the side and just holler.
He was a great umpire, too. And you know what? When they changed late in his career, my career, they changed the strike zone, and Dutch got all befuddled.
Yeah, he did.
And I remember telling Dutch at Wrigley Field, he said, Keith, they just got me all messed up. I said, Dutch, just do me a favor. Just call him the way you did. You were one of the best umpires in the game, and it really bothered him.
And Slank lifts one to right, and Granderson ranging over. And John Niese is now retired 7 in a row. We're to the bottom of the 4th at Citi Field in a 1-1 game. And for Eric Young Jr. as he takes you back to his hometown, Piscataway, New Jersey, for an inside look at his journey to the majors on Mets Insider, presented by WB Mason, Sunday at 4:30, only on SNY. Curtis Granderson will lead off for the Mets in the home fourth. Let's check in with Kevin.
Gary, thanks very much. And it's dinner time right now, as a matter of fact. It's the 20th anniversary of Nobu, and I'm going to eat like a pig out here at the Acela Club, which is beautiful. We've got the black cod right here, which is nice, and the sashimi salad. Guys, I could bring some up to the booth if you'd like.
Very nice.
Yeah, so they're here, 20th anniversary. You come to the Acela Club, and they're chow down on the food, which is, and if you've been to the place in the city, it's fantastic. So I'll do that in a second. Want to talk, though, now about the Dodgers and this stacked team that we've seen. And with that comes a lot of money, a lot of personality, and ego, for sure. So I was talking to Justin Turner today, who we all know as a Met, and he said, I'll tell you what, it's never a dull moment. I'll say that. This will go into the crowd. One thing is, though, we have a lot of fun. He said, you watch us during games in the dugout, people are throwing ice at each other, guys are hitting each other in the back of the head. The guys really do have fun, even though that sounds like a borderline Three Stooges movie. But the bottom line is, too, he said, I think Don Mattingly is the perfect guy for this team. He's never upset. He's never angry. He's very cool. He's very laid back. And Turner said, all the money in this clubhouse, all the egos, I think he handles it very, very well.
Well, Don's is a laid-back guy.
Granderson didn't get all that. Puig will have an easy play to make this time. One out.
A routine.
Now Eric Campbell, who drove in the Met run with a sacrifice fly in the second. So Campbell now 7 for 16, a homer and 6 RBIs. His first big league at bat, he drove in a run with a sacrifice fly.
That's right.
Should say plate appearance.
Right field too, right?
Yep. The run against Greinke, the official score has determined to be unearned, and that was really scorer's discretion, because it was a double by Granderson, right, an error, but then 2 fly balls could have brought the run home, but the scorer says they would not have.
Do you think that can he take into consideration that the fly ball that could have advanced in the third was Puig in right field?
Absolutely.
And it wasn't hit that deep.
Right. And I'm sure that's exactly what he thought.
I'm in a total agreement.
Granderson would not have gone to third on Campbell's fly ball.
I'm in total agreement.
So that's what made the run unearned.
That's our official scorer tonight. Is it the great Howie Carpenter?
Jordan Spreckman.
Well, Jordan's great too.
1-2. Ramirez right there. 2 out. So Greinke, after battling himself in the second inning, appears to have settled back into a better groove the last couple.
We predicted that, didn't we? I mean, you just had to. He was lucky, to tell you the truth. Lucky might not be the right word. That he was at the bottom of the order. He was able to work out of that inning with Jonathan Niese at the plate. If he'd been in the middle of the order, it could have caused some problems.
Well, if not for the Puig play, it could have been a very different inning. I mean, as good a play as you might see all year, bailing Greinke out. Here's Duda, who walked his first time up, and the curveball bends in for a strike.
See how tighter that curveball is now? Less break, tighter, about 5 miles an hour faster, 3 miles an hour faster, sorry.
That second inning, Ronnie, Greinke threw 36 pitches, which is by far the most he's thrown in an inning this year. And as you mentioned, he hasn't been throwing tons of pitches, hasn't been going very deep in games. So a long inning like that for a veteran pitcher, does it have an impact going forward?
Well, it definitely has an impact. The difference is, Gary, is that I've always noticed that the real good pitchers are going to have innings like that occasionally, and when they do, they rebound with a couple innings later that are 10 pitches, 12 pitches, and they seem to still get themselves into the 7th inning with enough to go. We'll see if that happens for Greinke, who's at 76 or so right now.
He's ahead on Duda, 1-2. Swing and a miss. 2 down on strikes. Third strikeout for Greinke, and he's got himself a 1-2-3 inning. 4 in the books at Citi Field, still tied at 1. From the 1969 World Champions, but Gil Hodges was one of the greats to play in this town with the Brooklyn Dodgers. 370 career home runs, hit as many as 42 in a season for the Dodgers, and a Gold Glove winning first baseman to boot. Now, that's a great tableau. DiMaggio, Stengel, and Hodges.
Lost 3 years to the service in World War II, 43, 44, and 45.
Only Duke Snider, his Brooklyn teammate, hit more home runs in the 50s than did Gil Hodges.
One of the few to hit 4 home runs in a ball game.
Yeah, not 2. They started the Gold Gloves in 1957, and Gil won the first 3. And that first season, they only gave out 1, not 1 in each league. So he was considered the preeminent first baseman of his time. He's a guy who won 3 Gold Gloves. And it's been a subject of a lot of consternation for folks who watched him play and then factor in his career as a manager that Gil Hodges has not made it to the Hall of Fame. And it's an interesting call. I mean, you look at the numbers, and compared to some of the numbers that power hitters put up these days, 370 home runs doesn't jump out.
Yeah, but I mean, if you are judging the Hall of Fame, don't you have to be smart enough to get past that? I mean, come on.
Well, but then again, to play devil's advocate, he played in a bandbox at Evans Field. I mean, there's a reason that he and Snyder were 1 and 2 in home runs in the 50s. They played in a very small ballpark.
So Todd Helton's not going to go in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
Really?
Is Larry Walker going to go in the Hall of Fame?
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree with you, Ronnie.
Right?
I agree.
I mean, come on. It's his fault. I mean, he has some numbers that are just off the planet. I just think that if you are in charge of judging as Turner walks, you've got to be able to somehow wrap your brain around different times, different ballparks, different numbers.
Walker won multiple batting titles. That goes a long way.
MVP, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable fielder. As good a right fielder as you're going to get. One of the best arms of his generation of players.
But when you look at Hodges, to me, what puts him over the top and makes him a Hall of Famer is the managerial piece.
Oh, no, I think that's a big piece.
There's A.J. Ellis.
Biggest upset in one of the biggest upsets in the history of baseball.
And of course, you can only extrapolate. I mean, he died at such a young age. He was, 48 years old when he passed away, and had a huge managerial career ahead of him.
Yes.
And you can only imagine what he might have accomplished had he lived.
He would have been the manager of the Mets for quite some time. You talked to Bud Harrelson and the players, Cleon Jones, all with respect and reverence. Tom Seaver breaks into tears when he talks about Gil.
That's a great shot, isn't
Yeah.
it? That tells you a lot about what things were like, the relationship between the Dodgers and the Brooklyn fans.
Right?
That's a great shot.
Yeah,
Brownie cameras.
Look at the old cameras, yes.
Back to Niese. Leads Flores, and they turn the double play as Duda digs it out of the dirt. So the play the Mets could not execute last night, they do tonight with a little bump in the road.
Well, done beautifully by Niese. Takes the crow hop. He leads Flores. Was trying to lead Flores, and it's easy as it gets.
And
this was last night.
And it's cost the ball game here because there was confusion.
What happens is that on this, Flores has got to give ground and going back of Murphy. Instead, he kind of just stopped near the bag, which made more confusion.
I mean, you said it last night. You know, Flores had played a lot in the big leagues at all, and certainly not much at shortstop. I just got caught up in the excitement.
Yeah.
Forgotten that it was Murphy's play to cover.
He was anxious to make a play. That happens.
Greinke pulls one right over the bag, but foul. Very close to being a double. Greinke wants them to challenge the call, but you can't. That's not a challengeable call. A fair foul in front of the umpire. Ball's got to be behind the umpire along the line of the outfield for it to be challengeable. But that certainly looked like it might have been fair. Angel Hernandez made the call.
Let's take a look, see if Mr. Greinke was right.
Nice swing.
Well, boy,
Close.
Angel was right on it.
Fly ball to left, and Campbell is there. And that retires the side. A walk, a double play, and nobody left halfway through. 1-1. due up second in the 5th inning, and thought we'd give you a little look at some ideas for protecting catchers, especially in the wake of Travis d'Arnaud concussion. How about this one? This was submitted in 1903 as an idea to keep catchers safe. Little cage. It's actually one of the best exhibits in Cooperstown at the Hall of Fame, is the evolution of equipment, gloves and catching equipment over the years.
Yeah. Put that one in the Gong Show.
Well, that patent was never used for catchers, but it was used for apiculture, for beekeeping later. It became the suit.
Well, there's good news on Travis d'Arnaud. He was out doing some baseball activities today and should be back shortly after getting whacked on the top of the head by the follow through of Alfonso Soriano's swing.
You know, Ron, never saw that.
Yeah.
With the frequency that it happens today.
Well, the talk became, it went from him getting hit on top of the head, morphing into how he gets very close to the hitter and up on the plate because he tries to catch the pitch, the low pitch. See Niese, Greinke trying to get the mud out of his spikes. Had some rain here earlier today.
But he didn't get hit because he was close under the catcher.
No, it just was a fluke play. But he is going to go back to his old mask and helmet because of that. The old helmet is the helmet really that you used to hit with, Keith. There are no ear flaps, right. Turn it backwards.
Wilmer Flores got absolutely robbed his first time up by Yasiel Puig, and he takes a strike. Well, they had switched him from the original mask and helmet to the hockey style to keep the sides of his head protected from batters' overswings. There's a little flare, and Gonzalez can't quite get to it.
Good try.
Keith would have had it.
Well, I don't know about that. But nice effort by Adrian.
The two dudes with the matching yellow raincoats.
Greinke's 80th pitch of the night coming here in the 5th inning. And he just missed. 1-2 to Flores with Recker and Niese to follow.
You noticed at home, folks, the break on those pitches is tighter, later, more precise. Starting to get comfortable here is Greinke.
Good call. A little sharper, a little more crisp. As in Crispin Glover. There's a strange one right there. I used to always like him on Johnny Carson, the talk shows. He was always an entertainment.
He's an enigma wrapped in a riddle.
On the outside corner, got him looking. 4th strikeout for Greinke.
Not a good sign. You're right. This is excellent slider.
So 1 out of the whole 5th. Now Anthony Recker, who walked his first time up.
Anthony Recker's music of choice, Ozzy Osbourne.
Crazy Train?
Yeah. Ooh, up and in.
Tonight that John Niese has his jacket on in the on-deck circle. It's May 22nd.
It's almost Memorial Day, guys.
It's crazy.
Come on.
61 degrees right now. They say by Memorial Day, Monday, we'll have that perfect 80-degree summer day.
Really?
But it's going to take a little work to get there the next few days.
Okay. Maybe Elias can get us the note on the latest we've ever gone to polos in the season.
Monday might be it. It might be the first one at home. Only had him in Arizona and Florida so far. 1-2 to Recker.
Recker's been in a bit of a funk since d'Arnaud went down.
It's hard to turn it off and on. All of a sudden, you're a bench player. You're spot playing. He's done such a wonderful job in that role, and then you're playing a little bit and a little more immediacy to hit. It hasn't happened. He's been a little bit of a struggle.
There's Darno. 1-2 from Greinke. And Recker hits one out toward right center. Over comes Kemp. He won't get there. It goes all the way back to the wall. Recker legs it to second, and he will stop there. So he split Kemp and Puig perfectly that time for his 4th double of the year.
Slider away, goes right with it. Look at the eyes on the ball, drives right through it. And Anthony's very strong.
Look at Puig. Says, get out of the way, Kemp.
I know, it's like Kempson, it's like slow motion.
Well, if you're going to be throwing the ball back in, you want the ball in Puig's hands anyway. So now Niese, who struck out his first time up. Mets have their 3rd hit of the night. And John tries one deep right center field. This one's headed toward the warning track. Recker around third. He'll score the lead run. John Niese with his first hit of the year, an RBI double, and it's 2-1 New York. The first non-DeGrom hit for a Met pitcher this year.
And you mentioned it earlier, Gary, but opposing pitchers have hit off Greinke. And Ronnie, you said probably because he's throwing fastballs, and there it is, right down the pipe.
You know, Niese is one of the better hitting pitchers for the Mets. He's only had 11 at bats before this one, but now pitchers against Greinke, Gary, 6 for 16.
Unbelievable, huh? I mean, the rest of the league's hit 220 against him. So Recker and Niese, the 8 and 9 hitters, trade places, back-to-back doubles, and now Juan Lagares will try and break Greinke's historic streak. Lagares hit a bullet to center his last time, and he takes the curveball in the dirt. Remember, Greinke's had 21 straight starts where he's allowed 2 runs or fewer, and he's given up 2 tonight, albeit 1 unearned.
This would be a huge hit right here. Just to get Jonathan a little cushion.
You see Greinke's reaction. He knew he threw a hanger right there. Lagares swung right through it. This is right down the middle.
Good swing from Lagares, just missed it.
One and 1 to Lagares. And he takes it low and in. 2-1.
I love Greinke's body language, his reactions to pitches. He wanted that strike right there.
Two 2-1 from Greinke. That's on the corner. 2-2.
But if you have a pitcher like this pitching against you, you're screaming at him in the dugout the entire time, aren't you? Because
stop begging.
Stop begging. Screaming at him.
Greinke over 90 pitches now, working with 1 out of the 5th. Pitcher who does not struggle often finds himself in a struggle tonight. Niese at second and 1 out. And Lagares fouls it away.
Now, Ronnie, you see that swing right there where Lagares is obviously with 2 strikes. He's just going the other way. Can you see that as a pitcher after you release the ball?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Of course you can. I think if you're throwing a ball as hard as you can throw it and the guy fouls it off like that, tells me he's vulnerable inside. If you can handle up and out of the plate away, then you can't handle both sides of the plate. We'll see if he counters with something in.
Try down 3-2.
See his reaction. He went down his knees and he wanted that strike. Not that he knew it was a bad one. He didn't make the pitch, I should say. He was going for an out pitch there.
Greinke's 6th 3-ball count of the night, but his first since the 2nd inning.
My bad.
Yep. He's very intent, is he not?
And Lagares chops one over the mound. Ramirez charging and throws him out as Niese goes to third. So now there are 2 out.
Nice job by Niese. He gets some pitchers on there in the bases. I think it's a clam bake. He was saw it wasn't hit hard, advanced to third.
John has been used as a pinch runner in his career. He knows what he's doing.
As was Mr. Darling, more than a few times.
Yeah.
Early and off. No, late and off. Late and often.
So now Murphy will try and get the run in from third with 2 out. Daniel 0 for 2 tonight.
Just call Ronnie. It was Rusty's caddy.
It was Rusty's wheels.
That's right. Well, it drove Rusty crazy early when Davey would make me do it, but then he acquiesced.
Had a hard time dealing with reality.
Greinke really getting upset with himself behind 2-0, and he calls Ellis out.
He's having difficulty with his fastball. He's not locating his fastball.
2-0 to Murphy. Let's check in on Kevin.
We've talked about this whole hands thing, what these hitters do, guys. For Murphy, he said, it changes a little bit. I like to just get a little flow with my hands, move around. I like to get my body in motion. But the key is you keep the movement soft. What you don't want to do is have giant movements, and then you start your loading position from a different spot. You always want to keep that consistent.
See, Murph's very relaxed with his hands. He's not squeezing the bat.
Rounds one slowly. Who's going to get it? And bobbled by Turner, and a run scores. 3-1 New York. Justin Turner cutting in front of Ramirez. Couldn't make the play. It's an error on Turner, and Greinke's streak of 21 straight starts, allowing 2 runs or less, has come to an end.
Well, you always want the third baseman, if he can get to it, to cut across, because he's got a shorter throw. And he just didn't make the play.
July 25th of last year against Cincinnati, Greinke gave up 4 runs in a 5-2 loss. And for the first time in 22 starts since, he's given up 3 tonight. Jamie Wright up in the Dodger bullpen. Here's David Wright, 1 for 2, and Infield hit his last time up.
That's just another case, though, that you have a shift and players out of position, and Turner didn't know really how far to go. When you think about it, see where the position he was almost straight up and down shortstop position by the time he got to that baseball.
Wright tries to lay off the slider, but he went around.
Do you ever see teams around the league yet, when they take infield, they don't do it before the game like they used to, but when they take ground balls before a game, you ever see them do it in the shift? Never. I've never seen it done.
Well, after David had trouble turning the double play, he said he practices that all the time. Yeah. So curveball misses. Well, the Mets have put up 2 in the bottom of the 5th. Curtis Granderson on deck. What was it Joaquin Andujar said about baseball? You can sum it up in one word.
Right.
You never know. Well, here the Mets beleaguered, and albeit with the help of some defensive miscues behind him, they've done against Greinke what no team had done in almost a year.
100 pitches.
Two and 1 to Wright. David bounces one toward the hole. Turner snags this one cleanly and throws on Wright to end the inning. But the Mets get a pair. The 8 and 9 hitters getting it done. Anthony Recker and John Niese with back-to-back doubles. That brings in 1 run. Justin Turner's error plates another. 3-1 New York after 5. John Niese with the lead for the first time tonight. As we go to the 6th inning, top of the batting order for the Dodgers, Sean Figgins, who singled and scored the Dodger run in the first. And he takes a strike, cutter on the outside.
I mean, we say this all the time about big innings for pitchers after they've gotten runs and shutting the opposition down. Well, you've got the leadoff hitter Figgins here. John wants to win this game. You've got to put 2 zeros plus up there.
Don Mattingly, I think, telling Greinke he's done after 5 innings and 101 pitches. Still trying to get the mud out of his spikes.
You can take them off now.
Yasiel Puig on deck, and the curveball did not break the way he wanted. Well, he's still got a streak of 22 straight starts allowing 2 earned runs or less.
But he only had 1 earned run, right?
Right.
Can't let this happen, John. This is huge.
Yep.
Team gets you a run, gets you the lead. You got to run the goose egg up the next inning.
Well, with Puig, Ramirez, and Gonzalez behind him, you can't walk Figgins. But he just did.
Oh.
So that gets the tying run to bat. Second walk of the night issued by Niese. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., Jonas Schwartz and Joe Beningo will have all the latest news, highlights, and reaction on tonight's Rangers-Canadiens Game 3 battle at the Garden. Daily News Live presented by Citi tomorrow at 5 only on SNY. What we hear? 1-0 Rangers after 1.
Hagelin. Outstanding.
All of a sudden they can't lose.
To win it all, I'm going to wear the Rangers shirt in here.
We all should.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's Puig. Great catch in the field, but empty night at the plate so far. Up twice, struck out both times. Swinging in the first, looking in the third. And all of a sudden the plate starting to elude John Niese.
I'd be surprised if Puig tries to hit the ball to right field because Johnson, majority of pitches have been away.
That's the cutter on the inside, 1-1. Jamie Wright up in the Dodger bullpen.
Puig is a bit of a moaner and groaner.
Yeah, he's got to watch himself. Hands on hips. That kind of stuff doesn't go well with the umpires.
And the curveball pulled to third, might be 2 if they hurry. Right to Murphy, but no chance to double him up. And he dropped the ball, and everybody's safe.
Oh, boy.
Murph unable to make the connection. Looked like a perfect throw from Wright, and now Terry Collins is going to come out to argue perhaps that the drop was made on the transfer, but that did not appear to be the case.
He never had it.
What I don't get is that the timing of the play demands that you know who the runner is. It's Yasiel Puig. There's no chance you're going to double up him there. All you have to do is catch that baseball and get the force out. No reason to try to transfer that baseball. Interesting, Terry doesn't have his face facing the dugout. Usually he does.
Well, they've changed the transfer rule as the year's gone along. Earlier this season, you'd have no chance to get that call overturned. Now they've gone back more toward the rule that as it used to exist, where umpires would often give you that out at second base even if it wasn't justified. So
this is a long argument here.
Yeah, Terry knows this is a crucial time. He's not going to get anything from it.
And it's a double play right here.
In order to have it be a transfer, you have to have it in the glove and then be taking it out, and that clearly is not the case.
That spent more time in his armpit than it did in his glove.
And apparently Terry is either challenging it or the umpires are using their discretion to go to the replay. But actually, it's got to be a challenge because it's first 6 innings. So Terry using a challenge on a play where he's got no chance of getting this call overturned.
Terry never looked into the dugout.
Yes,
so if he challenged all on his own.
This will be done quickly.
And he's trying to explain it to his bench right now.
He never had it.
There's not Terry. I mean, if Terry's saying that he had it in the glove and was trying to take it out, he didn't see it clearly, because clearly from the replay, Murphy never had it in his glove.
Murph just took his eye off the ball.
You know what I'm saying, though? There's no chance of turning 2.
Can I tell you something? From Terry's angle, it might have looked as though he had it in the glove because the glove was shielding him.
I'm not disagreeing with that. Yeah.
I think that's what ended up happening there. From Terry's view on the bench, he saw the back of the glove and he saw the ball disappear. No, Guerin apparently gave Terry the thumbs up that the play would be overturned. And I don't know what he was looking at, but really was not the case.
You know what I would do if I were manager there? I would run out to the umpire. I'd call Murphy in. Murph, did you catch that ball? Tell me yes or no.
And
I think he's still trying to say what he saw.
Right. Well, it's clearly some unhappiness there, but from this angle, if you watch the open side of the glove, as we got a chance to do, there's no chance that you would ever want to challenge this call. But the information is coming to Guerin from the Mets video coordinator, who has 12 different angles to look at. Now, if you watch that, you might not know for sure, but when you watch it from the open side of the glove, it's obvious.
In years past, and us doing that job, we've seen that called an out before. Certainly.
Exactly. So now the tying runs are on base with nobody out. Hanley Ramirez, the batter, and he takes a strike. So Niese all of a sudden finds himself in a crisis.
No, this is it right here. It's pretty plain.
Is that E. Quattro there?
Yes. Assist for the third baseman, error on the second baseman.
Lucky it wasn't a hand grenade.
You'd rather drop a hand grenade, wouldn't you? Popped up.
Infield fly.
Murphy retreating. They call the infield fly rule and it drops. The batter is out. The runners can advance. You can tag Puig out. Oh, but he didn't tag him. You need to tag him.
Oh my gosh.
And they finally tag Puig. It's a double play. Puig didn't know the rules, and now straying off the bag at third for a moment is Figgins. Right call for the ball, but Figgins got back. That's a double play. The batter is out. The first base umpire called the infield fly rule, so the batter's out, and Puig is tagged out. It's a double play.
Oh, I don't believe what I just saw in a major league game.
Now, Flores didn't know what to do either.
Number one, if Puig thinks he's forced out, he's got to slide. Number one. That's just, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Runners advance at their own peril. So he's off the bag. Flores tags him. And they went to tag Figgins, but Figgins got the third base. He's fine.
So it is a 4-6 double play on an infield fly rule where the players on the bases clearly did not know the rules.
Wow.
And frankly, neither did the Mets shortstop.
Wow.
So the Mets get a huge break. Figgins winds up at third with 2 out, and Adrian Gonzalez, the batter, takes a strike. Now, let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
How often in spring training or whenever is this stuff covered?
It's not covered very often because, I mean, if you don't know this rule, then, I mean, come on already.
You learn it in the minor leagues.
You know what happens when Murph drops that ball and doesn't make the play? You know what you do? Just stay on the base. That's what you do. You don't move forward.
My question is, did Murph let it drop on purpose?
No,
or was he befuddled?
No, the ball got away from him. But here's the thing. The one thing that I would say about Puig and his actions, I did not see the second base umpire ever signal infield fly rule. The first base umpire did, and he was behind Puig, and he might not have known.
It was late. Yeah. But whenever they raise the hand, they will say it also. Infield fly.
Right.
They will say it loud enough. You probably heard it. But it was late by the first baseman, too, I thought.
Flores moves in front of it. And the overhand throw gets Gonzalez and helped out by some terrible base running. The Mets bail themselves out after Murphy's error. They get a double play on an infield fly rule, and they get Niese through the 6th inning.
Oh, my God.
Somebody needs a refresher on the rules.
How did he miss the pop-up?
From Dodger third base coach Lorenzo Bundy on the infield fly rule. Now, you know, it strikes me that if you had a couple of players, Puig and Flores, who didn't know the rules, then maybe a lot of people watching at home don't know either. This is how the infield fly rule works. It's to protect the offense on a pop-up with runners at first and second where the base is loaded and less than 2 out. Those are the only times that you call the infield fly rule. It's on a ball that can be caught easily by an infielder. Presumably, the umpire puts his hand up, and this is supposed to prevent the defense from letting the ball drop and getting an easy double play on the bases.
You know, I should take back. It wasn't an awful play by Figgins, because where the ball landed, it took Murph a while to get to it, so Figgins could advance at his own peril. Right, so I think he did the right thing.
Which he did.
But Puig just sort of stayed on first. Just stay on the bag.
He didn't know what to do.
Puig didn't know what to do.
Didn't understand that on the infield fly rule, you don't have to advance. You can if you're able to make it to the next base.
When you had a routine pop-up, not even close to being caught, it was an embarrassment of riches. Terry's not woofing at Murph here, but I saw he was in between innings, folks. He was grumbling.
Well, Murph was seemingly the only guy on the field who understood what was going on. He was yelling at Flores to tag Puig out, and Flores didn't know. Flores didn't know the rules either.
He didn't.
This is Jamie Wright, the new Dodger pitcher.
You know, Greinke's saying that he fouled the pitch and it went into the dirt. Adrian Johnson, he's asked him to get some help, that he fouled the ball into the dirt.
It certainly seemed as though he did. It sounded like he did.
Not sure.
Oh, he caught it in the leather, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, he got the glove underneath?
Yeah, he got the glove underneath, so it doesn't matter, even if he ticked it. See that?
Yep.
He got it in the leather.
Bounced in the glove on the ground. So that is a strikeout.
Here we go.
And now Adrian Johnson's going to get some help from the crew chief, Larry Vanover, who comes in from second base. It is a good call, but Johnson could ask for help.
Well, if you're a Granderson, you hear the ball bounce, too. You can hear it bounce sometimes, but it was in the leather, not in the dirt.
He doesn't need to get help now. The umpire does not need to get help. He can say, I saw it, it stands.
And this is not a challengeable call because it's a question of whether it's foul on the infield, and also Terry's already used his challenge, so even if it was challengeable, he couldn't challenge it anyway.
They're watching the ball to see if it has any scuff marks from the dirt on the ball.
1969.
I don't see anything on it, Larry Vanover saying. Boy, this would be
1969 was the shoe polish play where Cleon Jones was belatedly ruled to have been hit by a pitch because the Mets showed that there was shoe polish on the ball.
Come on. I see a lack of decisiveness.
I wonder why the base umpires who might have had a good view of it are not being asked to weigh in, because they might be able to confirm the fact that it is indeed a strikeout.
Well, they were asking Vanover, who's in the second base, probably has the best view of this, right?
The ball never hit the ground.
But you can see the dirt come up, why it would have fooled Anderson.
Did he then close the glove on it? Roll that replay a little further? He did close the glove on it, right?
Closed the glove on it, came back. It comes up the top of the glove and then drops back in the glove, I believe. Let's see. Keep it going, guys, if you can. Comes up. Oh,
lost it again.
Yes, we got to see this first pitch.
Eric Campbell takes a curveball inside. Trying to play it. Angel Hernandez shaking his head. I'm not sure what that's in reference to.
Well, I won't go there.
Campbell grounds one for Figgins, and Wright has the first 2 outs. So here we go. The ball hits the glove.
Knows he takes it.
Comes up.
Ball comes up, but watch. It does drop the ground.
Well, there you go. He didn't secure it.
Well, then he is right.
So it's not a strikeout. Okay, that's the first time we've seen the replay all the way through.
So Greinke is right. Wow.
So I guess. Well, the umpires had to have seen that, so their question must have been whether he foul tipped it or not.
Right, and it was just too close. It was a tick, as we say.
So it really didn't matter whether the ball hit the ground or not, since the catch was never secured So the question was whether it was foul tipped or not.
The bigger issue with replay is that everything is contentious. Everything is talked about. There's no decisiveness. There's no go sit down. I just made the call.
That's right. Exactly.
Right?
I agree 100%. Umpires were much more, what was the word you used, Ronnie? Decisive.
Yeah.
They didn't ask all the time when a catcher asked for the third base umpire, first base umpire to go check if he swung. You had a lot of umpires that said, no, he didn't.
Go sit down. Yeah.
Yes. Today, it's an automatic. No wonder they relinquished to the rule, to this new challenge rule. They don't want it.
Oh, well.
It's been quite an inning, hasn't it?
Can't wait for the next inning.
Jeez. I mean, think about it. We've had the drop at second, the challenge that never should have been.
I tell you,
the infield fly where nobody knew the rules.
You know, no matter what happens, the Mets come out smelling like a rose here, and I'm going to get this in real quick. They played poorly in Washington. That's what Terry's mad about. And to make a play like that, it's poor play. They played poor last night. They got to get their act together.
They got themselves a lead tonight as we go to the 7th. John Niese heads back to the mound up 3-1. Tonight with highlights, reactions, in-depth analysis, and opinion on SNYRangersblog.com, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Matt Kemp leads off the 7th inning, tops one toward third, and that is a foul ball. The home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson, never made a call, and Angel Hernandez, the third base umpire, waited a long time before calling it.
And Matt Kemp never ran the bases, so.
I don't know. What are we seeing tonight?
Not a good product. I'll tell you that. Snap it up.
Kemp has been up twice, struck out both times, and he takes the curveball outside. Been a rough night for Kemp. 2 strikeouts at the plate, an error in the field. He's a former MVP candidate who looks like a shadow of himself right now.
What we do have, despite a crazy 6th, is Jonathan Niese throwing a gem.
Line towards short. Nice play by Flores to his left. Low throw handled by Duda, 1 out.
Nice play by Flores here. And I tell you what, second night in a row, Kemp is not busting down the line.
Well, you better hope he's hurt.
Well, again, he's had so many injury issues, shoulder, ankle, hamstring, multiple surgeries in the offseason. maybe you give him a little bit of a pass. But you know what? The Dodgers have options. They've had Andre Ethier sitting on the bench this entire series.
Wouldn't you love to have that?
And Scott Van Slyke, their 5th outfielder, getting a start tonight against the left-hander. Struck out and flied out. Niese up over 90 pitches now. He's walked 2, struck out 5 tonight, allowed a run on 3 hits. The only run came in the first inning. Now behind on Van Slyke 3-0.
Well, aside from all this, John Niese is throwing a pretty fine ball game.
Yeah, right.
And he walks Van Slyke on 4 pitches. That's his 3rd walk of the night. So 1 out and 1 on. Justin Turner coming up. We'll look at tonight's Verizon trivia question. Most home runs in Los Angeles Dodgers history. I think I got this one.
That would have to be more modern, wouldn't it, Gary? More modern times.
It was a guy who played for them for a long time, and you know, was not a superstar, but a good player. Justin Turner, the batter, who takes up and away. Niese again losing contact with the strike zone.
His arm is dropped. His arm angle has dropped a little bit. It's be a good time for Recker or anyone to let him know. Get that arm up. Get on top of the baseball.
Turner has flied out and walked tonight, 0 for 1. And he drives one deep left field. Back goes Campbell near the wall, and it's out of here. Justin Turner back at Citi Field hits his first home run of the season. A 2-run shot to tie the game. Justin Turner, whom the Mets did not want. They non-tendered him in the offseason. He had been hitless in this series, and he hits his first home run of the season back in Flushing to get the Dodgers even.
Well, he missed with 5 in a row at John Niese, so came in with a cookie, and Turner did not miss it.
Fastball upstairs, wanted to come inside, didn't get it there. Turner turns on it. And how often do you see someone that comes back and gets a sort of revenge, lack of a better word.
Lifted to center field by Ellis, but Lagares has plenty of room. And that's the second out. Justin Turner hit 2 home runs last year in 200 at bats. His first home run comes in his 80th at bat this year.
Well, he got it in. Turner just turned on a big leg kick, and he just got the barrel out. He turned on it, and no doubt.
Pitcher's spot is due up. And Carl Crawford will be a pinch hitter for LA.
Turner 8 home runs as a Met.
Here's Crawford, who started the first 2 games of this series, went 2 for 8. So Chris Perez up in the Dodger bullpen, getting ready to pitch in the bottom of the 7th. Daisuke Matsuzaka up in the Mets pen. So the Mets got John Niese a 2-run lead, which he certainly had a big part in, and now that lead is gone. Crawford bloops one, and Flores is right there, side retired. But Justin Turner, returning to his old haunts, gets the Dodgers even. First home run of the season for Red. 3-3 games, 7th inning stretch at Citi Field. On SNY is brought to you by your local Acura dealer. By Aquafina, visit MLB.com/Aquafina and take the pledge to drink up. And by Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. John Niese dismayed after giving up that 2-run homer to Justin Turner to tie the game.
We got a 2-run lead. He's going to get pinch hit for now, too. He can get an ND on this.
The 4-pitch walk to Van Slyke was huge.
Chris Perez will take over for the Dodgers as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
His numbers are not good. Lots of walks, high ERA. He can strike you out. Right-handed hitters, though, hitting pretty well against him.
And the Mets will have right-hand hitters coming up. Flores, Recker, and the pitcher's spot in the bottom of the 7th. Each team with 3 runs and 4 hits. There have been 3 errors in this game. There's been a lot of head scratching. Flores 0 for 2, and he lines one to left field. Coming on Van Slyke. He dives, but he can't make the catch. And safe at first base is Flores. Nice effort by Van Slyke, but he came up empty.
Beautiful effort here on the dive, and he was afraid. Instead of going underneath, he was afraid it was going to get by him, so he wanted to totally relinquish the catch and just smothered it.
You know, it sounds like second guessing, but Don Mattingly used Carl Crawford as a pinch hitter a moment ago. He could have left him in to play left field.
Yeah, he could have left him in to play left field, and also he didn't have to hit him. He should have hit Jamie Wright. Jamie Wright had a breeze of an inning. Could have got a couple innings out of him with Greinke only going 5.
So it's a leadoff hit for Flores. And now Recker, who's walked and doubled to right center. So the Mets have the go-ahead run aboard. You got Recker at the plate. You got Abreu on deck. Would you think about bunting with Recker?
No. 7th inning, I would say no, Gary. Especially after coming off a base hit in his last at bat.
Let Recker hit. Absolutely.
Turner will play in close at third just in case, and Gonzalez cheating in as well.
They're going to bunt.
Does square, and it goes to the backstop, and that'll get Flores to second. So 2 pitches thrown by Perez. He gives up a line drive for a base hit, and now a wild pitch.
Well, we've seen it all, and this is not even close.
And that was in the other batter's box. Ellis had no chance. When a guy is bunting, you know what a catcher is thinking? He's going to throw a strike because I'm going to have to bust out behind the plate, maybe make a play. And Perez's pitch not even close. If you're bunting him to second, do you bunt him to third now?
Do you let Recker 1-0 have a pitch to swing and take a rip at?
Adrian Gonzalez coming over from first base to try and settle Chris Perez down.
Well, Turner gave all the signs of what they're going to do here in a bunt situation, and Gonzalez had to go in and tell Perez because he probably didn't know what the signs meant.
Perez has always been volatile, has some really good years in Cleveland, but talked his way out of town. And Recker's set to swing as the Dodgers were going into their bunt defense. 2-0. Bobby Abreu out on deck to pinch hit for Niese. So John still has a chance to be a winner if the Mets can score here in the 7th.
Gosh, look at Gonzalez at first base. 2-0 count. You can give a hit sign. Oh my goodness, get back. You're killed.
Selling out to the bunt and now backing up. And Recker goes after the outside fastball. 2-1.
You might have to put the bunt on now.
A head scratching night for Terry Collins and just about everybody watching this game.
I'd let Recker hit.
I think he's
like him as a bunter.
Yes, he's going to hit. Nope.
He was set to square, gave it away as Perez made the turn towards second.
And that's actually a pretty wise play. I don't know if Perez had that in mind.
So now do you switch off and have him swing?
Well, that's the mind games now.
I look at it this way. It's the 7th inning. You've got 3 chances to drive in a run. Right? 3 shots to get a base hit.
I'm just watching Terry's expressions as this game goes along.
It's a little exasperating.
A lot like mine.
Yours are worse.
Will he or won't he? He's squaring and fouls it off. 2-2. Well, he'll be swinging now.
Well, you never know what's going on here. It's before the pitch here. You're going to give your signs to the infielders what the bunt plays are. There's 4 bunt plays. One's a pickoff. And when you position yourself, boy, that's the kind of count you don't know if they're bunting or not.
You see Turner kind of shake his hand like, you don't know. I don't know if maybe he is bunting with 2 strikes. You never know. I would say no, but
can't be bunting.
He's not bunting.
The outfield not very deep. Against Recker, who's got a lot of power. And he waves up the slider for strike 3. So an unproductive at bat for Anthony Recker for the first out.
Well, that was a good slider by Perez. After all the fastballs, started that slider right away where he had all those fastballs and then bent it outside of the corner. Dejected, of course, Recker is.
So now Abreu bats for Niese. Robbie was a pinch hitter in last night's game at a broken bat liner. Had an infield hit in the opening game of the series. Flores a leadoff hit, took second on a wild pitch. That's trying to get him home with the lead run against Chris Perez, the 3rd Dodger pitcher of the night. That's a 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. And Abreu first pitch swinging, fouls it off.
I like it. When you're pinch hitting, you thou shall not pass. You get a fastball, you go after it.
It's not only that, he has the reputation of a guy that always takes the first pitch. So he changed it up. Good to see.
Juan Lagares on deck. Knees for a strike, and Abreu certainly didn't think so.
No, it's borderline, and Adrian Johnson's had I would have to say, an erratic day back there. You would have to say in the bench, flip a coin.
So Abreu finds himself in a 2-strike hole. Hit in the air to right field, chasing Puig back a few strides, tagging at second Flores. Puig's got it for the second out. Flores moving over. Puig with that great arm comes up a little bit short. And the Mets have the go-ahead run at third with 2 out.
Just a little bit quick, Abreu. He knows it too.
Now Juan Lagares. Here's his night.
Well, Juan's 0 for 3. The first at bat, he was chased a bad slider. A little 6-3 on your scorecard. Second at bat, he had a rocket. That ball was ripped. Unfortunate. Nothing you can do about that. And then he chased another bad slider there. After his 3 hit at night last night.
You make up for it one at bat here, though, can't you?
Well, Perez has already thrown 1 wild pitch in this inning, so Flores has to be aware at third.
They're calling the trainer out, or what are they doing?
Issue with the mound, perhaps? Guess not. Maybe with the baseball. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com.
Well, if you won with Flores, what do you have to do? You've got to be on your toes if you're on third base. Perez can be awfully wild.
Well, you're on your toes all the time because anybody can throw a wild pitch.
Ooh, slider in for a strike. He had Lagares bailing out. Lagares, 15 RBIs this year. And another slider for a strike, and it's 0-2.
It's got that 3/4 arm action that kind of fools the right-hander. That ball seems to start right at you and bend over the middle of the plate.
Like a slurve almost.
Yep.
And he's got the sinker to back it up. He's always been tough on right-handers.
0-2. He reaches for it and Lagares in to score. One slider too many from Chris Perez, and Lagares plates the go-ahead run. It's 4-3 New York.
What did you say, Keith? Lagares is always thinking right field with 2 strikes.
He is, and he had a pitch to waste, too. And we showed you the first 2 or 3 at-bats earlier was Lagares going for a bad slider in the dirt. He had a pitch to waste, kept it too close. Nice hitting. And there it is. It's not pretty, but he kept his hands back.
So the Mets back in front. Now Murphy, who's 0 for 3 tonight, and 1 for 13 in this series.
Constant battle of putting the ball in play with 2 strikes. Something good can happen.
Makes Niese the pitcher of record right now.
Well, Niese gave up a 2-run lead in the top of the inning on Justin Turner's 2-run homer. Lagares gets the lead back for him. That's now with 6 hits tonight. And Murphy hits one toward the middle. Nice play by Figgins. Can he get up and throw him out? He does. Nice play, Sean Figgins, to end the inning. But the Mets go back in front. Flores a leadoff hit. Comes in on Lagares' 2 outs, 2-strike hit. And that sends us to the 8th with the Mets up 4-3 and handing it off to the bullpen. Comes on in relief of John Niese.
How does Burley do it? Smoke and mirrors, doesn't he? Yep. Amazing. Only 1 run given up by Matsuzaka in his last 9 2/3 innings pitched. Got to be on top of his game here in the 8th. 17 walks in 20 innings. I think he has a consecutive game streak of walks, or did.
Yeah,
9 games in a row or something.
Right? Yep.
That's a lot of, wow, for having an ERA below in the low 2s.
He's been lucky. He'll get 2 outs and walk a guy.
Right.
You know.
Well, he's only given up 8 hits in 20 innings, so
Lucky's not the right word.
that accounts for a lot of it. Sean Figgins is singled and walked tonight. Just made a great play at second base to end that bottom of the 7th. Figgins is 5 for 8 in his career against Daisuke. How about that? Corners in against the speedster. Batting left-handed for the first time tonight. He takes one well out of the strike zone.
When he was at his heyday, when he had that great year in Los Angeles where he walked over 100 times, I believe, Gary. He was the king of working a walk when he had to. Always remember Lenny Dykstra when he needed to walk.
Yep.
He could walk with the best of them.
Yes, he could. Leading off an inning late.
Well, when Figgins had his big year with the Angels in 09, he walked 101 times. It's a big part of doing your job as a leadoff hitter. That year he had a .395 on base percentage, and that's what got him the big contract in Seattle. Didn't work out for him there, but reclaiming his career now with the Dodgers. And he takes the curveball for a strike, 1-2. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. Most home runs in LA Dodger history is Eric Karros.
Oh, that's right.
Good call.
And by a pretty good margin. You know who's second on the list?
Ron Say?
Exactly. Karros had 270, Say 228, Steve Garvey's third, Mike Piazza fourth, Pedro Guerrero fifth.
It's a pretty good who's who right there. Piazza would have been the leader if he'd have stayed a Dodger.
Let's see. Did Karros win a Rookie of the Year?
Yes, he did.
Guerrero won Rookie of the Year.
They had that big
Piazza
stretch.
won Rookie of the Year. He also had Sutcliffe win Rookie of the Year. Sachs won
Steve
Rookie
Sachs,
of the Year.
Fernando.
Mondesi.
Yeah.
Pretty good farm system. He's got Rice up in the bullpen. Yasiel Puig on deck. Hanley Ramirez behind him. 1-2 to Figgins, leading off in the eighth. And he tries to lay off. And did he go? He went around. Strike three. Angel Hernandez with the call on the half swing. 1 out.
You know, I don't know that if this is an edict to the umpires, but certainly they have become very aggressive, Keith, in this call. I'm not saying Figgins didn't go, but it's almost automatic now.
It is.
He didn't swing.
He didn't come close.
That's not even close to a swing.
It's not a swing. Ironically, the home plate umpire tonight, Adrian Johnson, was on first. He didn't ring anybody up. He was very judicious.
Here's Yasiel Puig, 0 for 3 tonight. And he drives one deep center field. Lagares racing back. It's over his head and off the base of the wall. Puig heads to second, and he's in standing with a 1-out double. He hit one where even Lagares couldn't catch it.
That's because it was a 2-iron. And this is his at-bats. His first at-bat, Niese had his way. Got him on a high fastball up and away. Made him look bad. Made him look equally as bad here. Got him looking on a fastball away. Curveball. This should have been 2. And now he gets the right-hander and gets a curveball and rips it. Stays in. Boy, I like his swing.
Anyone hit the ball harder in baseball than Yasiel Puig?
Maybe Giancarlo Stanton, but Stanton doesn't hit it as often. I mean, you know, Stanton's a 270 hitter at best. Puig's a 340 hitter. So now the tying run at second with 1 out. And here's Ramirez, who hit the pop fly that led to the double play on the infield fly when Puig didn't know the rules. Tying run at second and 1 out. And here's Hanley's night.
Hanley's night. Fastball up and in, not in enough. Line drive up the middle. There's a little sinker away. Routine Del Monte. And there's a fastball down the middle, too quick, pops it up. He's got a big long swing. And that's
when all heck broke loose.
We have to see that again.
Tag him, Wilmer, tag him. One and 0 to Ramirez. Murphy makes a run to the bag, but Daisuke steps off. That's only the 9th hit against Daisuke in 20 1/3 innings this year.
Gonna have to keep him close.
Hanley just got just the same swing. Boy, oh boy.
It's like he's trying to hit everything out of the ballpark.
It's just too long a swing. He did not swing like that when he led the league in hitting when he was with the Marlins.
Adrian Gonzalez looming on deck, and that's why Scott Rice is up in the bullpen. One to Hanley. Line drive, left center, coming across. Campbell, the dive, and he made the catch. Trying for the double play, and they get it. Eric Campbell, his first big league game in the outfield, and he makes the diving catch to Rob Ramirez, and they double up Puig, inning over.
What a play, and I can't blame Puig here for getting doubled up.
What a play by Campbell. He took the lead. You thought maybe he could be taken out for defensive purposes. Thank God he wasn't.
They said he was versatile, and Eric Campbell has shown he can play. He's hit, and now he makes a huge defensive play to help Daisuke Matsuzaka through the top of the 8th. Still 4-3 New York. Wow. David Wright leads off the home 8th inning. Mets have 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Looking for some insurance. Leading 4-3. Wright 1 for 3 tonight. An infield hit back in the 3rd. Facing Chris Perez, his 2nd inning. There's your Chrysler Mets box score. The go-ahead run coming in on Juan Lagares' RBI single. John Niese with his first hit of the year, an RBI double, not pictured. Line the other way, and Wright has his 2nd hit of the night. So the Mets get the leadoff man on against Perez for the 2nd straight inning.
Ball down the inner half that David is intent on going the other way. And like I said, David, even though he's got all these base hits, has really not got into a rhythm, I don't feel. So the best way to do it is to work your way to the opposite field until you find that rhythm. Been a little bit out in front, starting to hit the ball hard to right field. It's a good sign.
Now Granderson 1 for 3, a double his first time up. He scored a run. Since then he's flied out and struck out.
Perez, the pitcher, sometimes does not stop at the belt long enough before he delivers that ball to the plate. It'll be interesting. The umpires in the field are watching it.
Where's Bob Davidson? Slider in on him, 1-1.
And say at the belt, at his chest is where he stops.
Granderson 0 for 4 in his career against Perez. Wright was caught stealing in the 3rd inning, and Perez checks in on him. Paul Maholm up in the Dodger bullpen. Another slider. Granderson lays off, 2-1.
Interesting. You think Maholm would be out for Duda, but Maholm you would never think, as in his starting career, would ever be a specialty kind of lefty.
Just moved back to the bullpen when Hyun-Jin Ryu was activated last night. Granderson sprays one foul, 2-2.
Those left-handers, they can hang around for a long time, can't they? They always can.
Well, Maholm and Zach Duke both came up together with the Pirates, the two lefties, and they're both still employed. Well, Henry Mejia, who has not yet worked back-to-back games, pitched last night, and looks like he's going to get the save opportunity tonight. So it'll be a new hurdle for Henry to try to clear. Got his first big league save in Washington, and now a chance to pitch back-to-back days and get his second. Zach Greinke went 5, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, first time since last July. He'd given up more than 2, only 1 earned. Jamie Wright a perfect 6th, and Perez gave up the go-ahead run of the 7th. 2-2. Granderson hits it in the air, deep right center. Back goes Kemp to the warning track, back near the wall, leaping, it's off the fence. Wright breaks for 3rd. Puig runs it down. Wright being waved home. Puig heaves it toward the plate, not in time. It's a triple for Granderson. Wright comes home to make it 5-3 New York.
I'll tell you what, Matt Kemp is having a tough time in the outfield. He overran it.
Former Gold Glover not looking like one right now.
No, he's not.
And I think they had to play at the plate if Puig picks up the ball cleanly. He did not.
He overran that ball.
David, of course, has got to wait to see if it's going to be a miraculous catch. It's not.
Nicely done. Good base running.
Now Eric Campbell takes one at his feet for ball 1. So Curtis Granderson with his first Mets triple drives in right. So a double and a triple tonight for Granderson. And the Mets have the insurance run. Dodgers have the infield in, and Nellis is going to go out for a conversation, perhaps on instruction from the dugout, as Perez is getting hit hard. Rick Honeycutt wants to know how close Maholm is to being ready.
Well, as tough as April was for Granderson, May has been a different story.
Well, the Mets finally found a Dodger reliever they can beat up on.
They had gone 8 scoreless innings before Perez entered the game, or 9 maybe.
Campbell made a great catch to keep the Mets in front in the top of the inning. Now trying to get a run home to add on here in the bottom of the 8th. Had a sacrifice fly in the 2nd. He'll take another one of those. Lucas Duda on deck. Infield in for LA. And Campbell grounds one foul. Eric playing his first big league game in the outfield and showed off his defensive skills, robbing Hanley Ramirez and turning it into a double play. Seven for 18 in his big league career. That's 389 with 6 RBIs, and a chance for another here. Meanwhile, Granderson 4 extra base hits in this series, 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. That's a welcome sign for this team. Campbell down swinging for the first out of the inning. Second strikeout for Perez.
He just let this one fly. Perez, 95 miles an hour, just beats Campbell outside.
Now Lucas Duda's night. Automatically on his way out. He wants the left-hander. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Perez out, Mahalam in. 5-3 New York in the 8th. % off Mets tickets for games now through May 28th. Log on to Mets.com/strikeouts to take advantage of this offer. Coming up tonight after the postgame show, Geico Sports Night. Michelle, you will be on hand. See if the Rangers can keep their roll going. Jets news as well coming up on Geico Sports Night after the postgame. Here's what Lucas Duda's done tonight.
Well, first AB draws a walk. It was a kind of a long at bat to Greinke didn't have it, and he gets called on a check swing and a slider down and in, and then tries to pull a backdoor slider and grounds out to first.
Now facing the veteran left-hander Paul Mahalam with a runner at third and one out.
Well, 77 wins and 99 losses from Mahalam in his career, mostly as a starter. Over 250 big league starts for Paul Mahalam. Now working the role that Chris Capuano worked so well for the Dodgers last season.
Swingman.
Look at the infield in here, really playing the pull. And there was a pitch to hit right there for Lucas, and so many hitters under balls today, just not getting on top. I want to hit the big bomber.
Granderson at third and one out. That's with a run home here in the 8th. Duda watches a fastball for a strike.
No one has liked that pitch on either side, but I'd have to say Adrian Johnson's called that low pitch all night.
He's been a borderline. The low pitch has been going to the pitcher all night. Good, absolutely, Ron.
Mahalam ahead 1-2. He throws the breaking ball outside. Before this year, Mahalam had made one relief appearance in his career with the Cubs in 2012. This is now his 4th relief appearance this season. Would you say 249 starts?
249.
And now 5 relief outings. Did some good work with the Braves, particularly 2 years ago, filling in. Full count now to Duda with Flores on deck.
Drop down. That's something you usually didn't see from him as a starter.
Duda's worked the count full. And he hits the breaking ball right at the shortstop. Ramirez coming home for the tag, and Granderson is out. Well, they had Ramirez played perfectly in the shift, and they get Granderson at the plate. 6-2 on the fielder's choice.
Not a good throw. Nice play by Ellis. This ball goes in the dirt. Well, nothing you can do about that when you got 3 guys over there. That ball, nice play by Ellis.
Nice footwork by Ellis to get that left foot right in front of the plate after he caught the baseball. Make it difficult for Curtis to get around.
Since he can't do it before he catches the baseball.
I'm still getting it straight, but I think I got it.
Here's Flores. Wilmer's 1 for 3 tonight. Singled and scored the go-ahead run in the 7th. Mets were down 1-0, up 3-1. Then Turner hit the 2-run homer in the 7th to tie it off Niese, but the Mets with a run in the 7th on Lagares' RBI hit, and Granderson's triple bringing in a run here in the 8th. And Henry Mejia getting ready to try and lock it down.
Big run there. It's huge.
Looking ahead to the 9th, the Dodgers will have Gonzalez, Kemp, and Van Slyke. Gonzalez leading off the inning. The 2-run lead looks so much bigger.
Instead of Van Slyke, it might be Ethier also. Late inning heroics.
Well, they got Ethier on the bench as a left-hand batter, and if they needed a speed guy, they have D. Gordon as well.
It's Beckett on the left, Herron in the middle.
Two veterans right there.
One and 2 to Flores. Duda runs. Pitch inside. Ellis's throw on a hop. Not in time. And Duda has a stolen base, his 2nd of the year. Leaves Ellis talking to himself.
Well, go ahead, Gene. No, it's okay. I mean, if you're going to steal in your Lucas, who doesn't run well, you can do it off the left-hander. And how's he do it? I bet you he left right from the break in the belt. Just take a chance. The pitcher's going home, and you'll steal a base. Nice pilfer.
Glove came up just enough for him to be able to get in there under Figgins' tag.
You're right, though, Keith. Mahalam had just thrown over. Duda's probably saying to himself, there's no way he'll throw over twice.
Exactly.
Let me just go.
Yep. Take a chance.
2 and 2 now to Flores. He fouls off the changeup. Again, the 2-2 on the inside corner. Flores caught looking. Inning over, but the Mets tack on a run on Granderson's RBI triple and hand it off to Mejia, who bids for the save. bizarre and great plays.
Yes.
I couldn't have said it better.
Very good, Bob. Spaniard.
Bobby O on his game.
He's a Spaniard.
We'll see if Henry Mejia can be on his game, pitching back-to-back games for the first time. Threw just 8 pitches last night. A little rain has begun to fall. It's been waiting all night, and it comes in the 9th inning with Adrian Gonzalez set to lead off for L.A. Mets trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. They've won just once in their last 7. They have a 5-3 lead tonight as we start the 9th. John Niese went 7. He's in line for the win. 3 runs, 4 hits. Daisuke Matsuzaka gave up a couple of bullets, but survived the 8th. And now Mejia will try and set the Dodgers down in the 9th. Gonzalez, Kemp, and Van Slyke do. LA 3 runs, 5 hits. The Mets 5 runs and 8 hits. Mejia, who is just 24 years old, even though he's been around for a while, trying to become the first Met to record 2 saves before the age of 25 since 1991. Pete Schurik was the last Met to record 2 saves before the age of 25, and those were the only 2 saves Schurik had in his career. He was the starter, of course, for most of his career. Gonzalez 0 for 2 and a sacrifice fly tonight. Drove in the first Dodger run.
Well, that second run there to give the Mets a 2-run lead is crucial.
To Gonzalez. Cutter at his feet. 2-1.
I watch Gonzalez hit. You almost watch. I like that word quiet. He's a very quiet hitter. Just everything seems so natural to him. There's not a lot of movement in his body or his bat.
Laced to center field. Lagares racing back, and he gets there. He covered a lot of ground to make that look like an easy play.
That's really a routine play for Lagares.
Not for a normal human being.
Well, the way Kemp has been playing the outfield, this was would have been a challenge, but Lagares just runs this down. I mean, you just come to expect it.
Left center to right center through the raindrops. No problems. Lagares with the go-ahead hit tonight, and now squeezes the first out of the 9th. Here's Kemp, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And it is Van Slyke on deck to bat for himself. Curveball from Mejia misses. This is a big hump for Mejia to get over. Not just getting the save tonight, but just feeling okay about pitching 2 days in a row.
All the closers that I've talked to about these kind of situations, for a closer who's been around a while, Gary, it's 3 or 4 days in a row. They always tell me the same thing. The adrenaline sometimes gets you through.
You once closed a game in the 19th inning. How was that adrenaline?
I remember that.
Fly ball toward the corner. Granderson right near the wall to make the catch. Kemp gave it a ride the other way. Ballpark big enough to hold it. 2 out.
That ball carried, but Granderson stayed with it.
Well done.
Well, an exclamation mark. Nice catch.
And so the Dodgers are down to their final out. Scott Van Slyke, the batter, 0 for 2 and a walk. Our next SNY telecast will be on Sunday for the final game of the series with the Diamondbacks. That's Rafael Montero's next start. Coverage begins at 12:30. Next 2 nights on Pix 11 to face the Diamondbacks with their new chief baseball officer, Tony La Russa.
I was just thinking, got to do some Diamondback studying the next couple of days.
Good luck. Don't fall. Have plenty of coffee. You might fall asleep.
That's right.
The biggest news is at the head of the regime right now, right?
That's right.
Kevin Towers said yesterday he didn't want to be a pseudo GM, concerned whether he'll lose power with La Russa now his boss. 2-1 now to Van Slyke.
Well, it's not gonna last, that's for sure. And they just got swept in St. Louis.
Speculation that Tony might want to bring in his own people.
Well, that's certainly going to happen.
Maybe Mike Aldretti might end up as the manager. That's part of the speculation.
Aldo.
Here's the 2-1. Foul back. And now the Dodgers are down to their final strength. To Van Slyke. Now back. 95 from Mejia. He's a little pumped up. No question Henry is throwing harder in relief than he did as a starter. I guess that happens to just about everybody.
But he stayed under control. I mean, his pitches are where he wants them to be. That's just not wild throwing.
Slider bounce foul. Andre Ethier on deck. He would bat for Justin Turner if Van Slyke keeps it going. How often you hit a home run that get pinch hit for? Mejia trying to end it right here. This is with the slider, 3-2.
Yeah, it is. It's a nail-biting time.
Van Slyke gets on. Ethier would come up as the tying run. He's got a knack for late-game heroics. 2 out and nobody on. 3-2 to Van Slyke.
He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Henry Mejia picks up his second major league save. And on a bizarro night, the Mets snap a 3-game losing streak. Juan Lagares with the go-ahead hit. Eric Campbell with a terrific defensive play. The Mets snap a 3-game losing streak and beat the Dodgers 5-3.
Well, the key was they needed a fine pitch game from their starting pitcher, John Niese. He did give up the 2 home runs, but he a 2-run home run to Justin Turner, but did go 7 innings, which set up the bullpen, and they beat Greinke today.
Well, RBIs from Granderson, Campbell, and John Niese. Let's not forget that. He got a double off Greinke early in the game. But Lagares gets the game winner, and that was in the 7th inning when he got a 2-out base hit to right field on an 0-2 count of Chris Perez. So Lagares with the game winner.
Game summary brought to you by New York Community Bank. Good night for Curtis Granderson. A double and a triple. He had 4 extra base hits in the series. And the Mets win for just the 2nd time in the last 8 games as they down the Dodgers 5-3. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $52,500. Let's send it down to the field. Kevin Burkhardt standing by with Eric Campbell. Kevin.
All right, Eric, how in the world did you make that catch?
I was coming in hard because I figured there'd be a play at the plate anyway, and the ball stayed up for a second, so I dove at it and got it.
I noticed you turned around to look at the replay on the way in. What'd you think of the replay?
You always got to check it if you make a good play.
What's this been like for you? You've been here and you've already contributed big time. Tell me about what it's like to be in the major leagues.
It's been an awesome 2 weeks. I couldn't ask for anything more.
How badly did you guys need a win tonight?
We needed it. You know, hopefully we can build on this and win a couple more in a row. We got to get on a good little hot streak.
How about the adjustments for you to major league pitching? What has been the biggest difference you've seen in this time?
A little better control. You know, they don't walk a whole lot of guys, but you still got to wait for your pitch. They still got to throw it over the plate.
You know, Terry Collins had faith to put you in the outfield, and you've played a bunch of positions, but does that feel good to kind of just prove to him that you indeed can play out there?
Yeah, it was good to get a couple easy fly balls in the first couple innings, and that last one wasn't easy, but it kind of calmed me down a little bit.
Just finally, the approach against Greinke. He had been so terrific, and you guys did a nice job. But what was the approach?
Same as our approach always is find your pitch and hit it hard. We made him throw a lot of pitches early in the game, and that helped us get in the bullpen.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Eric Campbell, another big day for him. Let's go back to you, Gary.
Campbell on a sacrifice fly and a great catch behind Daisuke Matsuzaka to keep the Mets in the lead. And then Henry Mejia sealed the deal. A 1-2-3 ninth for his second major league save. Mets win it 5-3. We'll come back with more from Citi Field in just a moment.